This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace.
Hello, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries, where we're your hosts. I'm Grace.
And I'm Alexis.
And we're back for another Halloween episode. As a reminder, we're in our holiday arc. We can do whatever episodes or shows we want, as long as it has to do with whatever holiday we're in. So we're in Halloween right now.
Yeah.
I think we have this one and then one more actually Halloween episode. I think I decided that November 1st is Halloween weekend, so it's still Halloween
Did
weekend.
you? Okay. Well, I couldn't remember and I'm literally looking at my calendar now because I was like, wait a minute, because our last week of September, we said the last Saturday of September was Halloween too.
We so extend Halloween as much as we can.
5 or 6. I don't know. Yeah,
I guess we'll find out.
We're doing 5 to 6 episodes of Halloween stuff, and I'm here for it. Halloween can go on until Christmas.
Halloween.
No, it can't. Actually, what am I saying? It can go until Thanksgiving, the week of Thanksgiving, then we can just stay on Thanksgiving until the week of Christmas.
Yeah, there you go.
And in my perfect world,
this is more Halloween, and then fall Thanksgiving things, and then our winter Christmassy arc. So, but we're not there yet. We're still in Halloween. Hope you all are ready for your costumes. And today, Alexis is going to be taking us somewhere spooky, I guess. Maybe. I don't know what she's doing.
Yeah. Today, we're going to do the quintessential spooky thing. Okay. Before I say what show we're doing, I will just say
last time. So much build up last time for your last episode.
There's not going to be nearly as much build up in this case. No, nowhere near as much. But it trails perfectly with what I was saying. The quintessential spooky thing is the haunted house. And today, the episode that we're covering is called In the Haunted House.
Oh, okay.
Now, this episode, it's near and dear to our hearts, both sentimentally and timeline-wise near, because it's the last show that we covered before our arc that we're talking about today, the good old Magic School Bus.
Are going to a haunted house.
Yes, they are.
What is the science lesson that we're going to have here? I'm interested to see what we're going to learn. I know, that's why I was like, what are we doing here?
She's a believer. The Frizz is a believer.
Paranormal investigating episode or something. Okay.
But it's actually kind of perfect in hindsight because as we have discovered now, that the Frizz is a witch. Like, there's just no way around it. Like, not only is this the magic school bus should have given it away a long time ago, but now as adults, we fully realize this woman has magical powers. So it's actually kind of cool combining a witch with a haunted house. And also, in hindsight, could any episode of the Magic School Bus then be a Halloween episode? Because every episode has a witch in it.
Hey, when we go into someone's body horror.
That's gore if I've ever seen it. It's gory.
Every episode is actually, The Thing was my Arctic episode.
The Thing. We're really good at turning things into scary things. Into
that's so true.
It says a lot about our brains.
Everything is
that's why we do this podcast. Exactly.
That's why we're here. That's why you're here.
So this episode, it's quintessential Halloween, not only because it is called In the Haunted House, but it literally is a Halloween special of the Magic School Bus that came out on October 29th, 1994.
Cute.
And the lesson for today, I'll go ahead and give it away now because we learned pretty early anyways. Like you said, what science could be behind a haunted house? None really, but today they make this episode about the science of sound. Basically. So for me, this is an even cooler fucking episode because I grew up playing a lot of instruments. I loved making music. I still like making music, but I made it a lot more when I was younger. So for me, I was like, oh, hell yeah. Halloween, spooky, creepy shit. And telling me about how sound. Perhaps. And it did make me wonder at one point, man, I kind of have weird flashback memories of this episode. So I do wonder if this is why I am who I am today.
Yes.
I don't know. But the episode, it begins on, almost any other episode of the Magic School Bus, on a very peaceful, beautiful, bright fall morning. And of course, we go into Miss Frizzle's class at Walkerville Elementary, and we see and hear our gang of 8, our 8 students, plus Liz, the class pet, hard at work, rehearsing for their forthcoming symphony orchestra concert. These
Okay.
students have
Class concert.
skills.
Okay.
Exactly. As we've discussed many times before, these kids are very learned in the arts. They know how to do it all. They can sculpt. They know the science of anything and everything. They can
They can
explain it all.
survive in the
They can survive.
wilderness.
And they can also play multiple instruments or, various instruments. Each of
Okay.
them is playing their own, which we'll go through in a second. And I'm
Good.
not going to lie, they sound really freaking good. Okay.
Like good for
Like,
fourth graders or just good?
no, good for humans.
Okay. Sick.
I mean, so yes, for fourth graders too, but like I would pay money to see them at, like the Kennedy Center. Maybe not this year or for the next few years, but at some point in time, I would have
We'll be
paid
back.
for money to see them. Exactly.
Okay.
So yes, the concert that they're preparing for, it's being held across town at the Walkerville Sound Museum, which sounds really cool. I wish this actually existed. If it does, tell me where it is, listeners and viewers,
let
because
us
I
go.
want to visit a sound museum. And we learn quickly after that dress rehearsal for this concert is later this evening, and the big show is tomorrow.
Okay.
So we pan across the classroom and we see all of the students performing. Actually, the song is called the William Tell Overture, the finale.
Oh, okay.
Which you will recognize.
Yeah.
It's literally what I describe as the horseback riding song. Like da-da-dun, da-da-dun, da-da-dun,
Yes.
da-da-dun, da-da-dun, da-da-dun.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that is
Okay.
the name of that song. And here are the roles and instruments that everyone's got
Please
here.
tell
Okay.
me.
I know
Okay.
this is what you want to know.
Yes.
And it's great. Dorothy Ann, obviously, she's the conductor. She's not playing an instrument. She's
the boss.
leading.
Okay.
Exactly.
Good.
She's the boss. Okay. And she's doing a great job. She's into it. She's got her little wands and everything. Yeah.
Good.
Ralphie is on the xylophone.
Oh, that makes
Arnold
sense.
is on a sousaphone, which is like,
Oh, I thought
honestly
they were
kind of
gonna
hard to
give him the
describe.
triangle at most.
I know, something simple. No. And again, they're all great. So like he's trusted with this. Phoebe is on an alto saxophone.
Oh, okay.
Wanda is on a trombone.
Cool.
Liz, obviously, or also seems obvious to me, is on the drums. Like, of course,
Yeah.
why not? And also,
Riveting.
it's not like just a snare, I don't think,
It's
or like a
full
bass
drum set.
drum, like what you would usually see. Yeah, she's got like a full-on like rock and roll drum set.
Hell yeah.
It's awesome. And then Tim is on the violin.
Nice,
Keisha
yes.
is playing the clarinet. And
Cool.
last but not least, Carlos. Well, Carlos has, it's kind of like a hodgepodge Frankenstein's monster of an instrument that he's attempting to create himself for this big concert.
Okay.
And normally this would be like, seeing him play this instrument, it would lead to the normal, like classic Carlos, you're joking around. What are you doing? Like pick a real instrument. And, the students would just kind of laugh at him like, oh, you're so silly, Carlos, and keep it moving. But Carlos, he actually has a solo in this performance. And so it's kind of important that his instrument sounds like an instrument and isn't just like this weird, crazy thing that he's come up with in his mind. And I'll describe it in a second, what it looks like. But it's like, this can't be a joke anymore. Okay. Like you actually have to figure this out, especially because DA is the conductor. So this isn't just like a Carlos moment. This is like a Carlos, your instrument sounds like crap and you should feel bad.
Yeah. Yes. I will kick you out of this class, not just the rehearsals or concert.
Figure this out. Yes. So the way that this instrument is designed, it's not going to give out any pleasant sounding sound. Like the students describe it as like sloopy, I think is what they say. And it kind of just sounds like...
doesn't sound nice.
No, it doesn't. I can't really describe. It sounds like a deflated horn that is choking, perhaps.
Okay. And why did they let him do this?
I think, as per usual, the Frizz is on to something.
Yeah.
It's for science. I think part of their performance at the Sound Museum is part of an assignment where they have to understand the way sound works and create, like amid this actual symphony orchestra, one student is chosen, almost like the City Hall episode, right? Like one student gets picked to do something different or whatever. In this case, they're picked to create an instrument, actually. And we'll get kind of into why later, but like,
Okay.
The Frizz is always up to no good here. We know she
Yeah.
always is tricking her
She has a
students
plan.
into science. Yeah.
Yes.
So, so what does this thing look like? It's honestly really hard to describe. So just bear with me. And,
Take me there.
if you're watching on YouTube, the benefit is yours because Grace will probably put a picture somewhere of this thing in here
Yeah.
or of Carlos playing it. So you can see if you're listening, Google a picture from in the haunted house of Magic
Yeah.
School Bus to
So,
look it up because it literally just is indescribable. All I can say is that it's like a bicycle wheel is attached.
okay. Already.
Did I already get you there? I already
Already an
surprised you.
instrument from this? Okay.
Yes. That is attached to a long pole. So almost
Okay.
like a unicycle looking thing.
Okay.
But it's got a horn on one side of it. Some streamers are dangling over the spindles of the wheel.
Okay.
And there
That's
are
pizzazz.
some wings attached to it and some feathers towards the top. And like a boot is somewhere attached to this thing too, like to the pedal of the wheel
Okay. It
that
still just
he's
seems like a
pushing.
bicycle situation. I'm still
Basically.
unclear on the sound of it all.
Yeah, but I mean, again, there's the horn on it, and
Yeah.
he's like pedaling it, and the streamers are hitting the spindles to kind of create like a harp-ish
Okay.
kind of
Okay.
thing. But
Okay. Little
again, it's
string
just like a
instrument.
squeaky, choking horn. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Again, I'm doing my best here. Like
He took
you
a
gotta
horn
see
and
it
added
in
some
here
things to
believe
it and made the horn sound worse, basically.
Yes, basically,
Okay.
basically. And the reason why this instrument is such a weird mismatch abomination of an
Yes.
item is because Carlos believes that if if the instrument merely looks cool, then it should also sound
Sound
cool.
cool? Oh,
So
Carlos.
his theory, like with the wings and the feathers and stuff, he's like, oh yeah, this stuff is so
It looks
cool. Like it looks
sick, man.
awesome. Like metal, it's gonna sound metal.
Carlos.
Cool.
Yeah.
Again, the lesson plan is sound this week, so we don't expect the students to understand how sound works.
No, not yet.
Carlos
Not
about to
yet.
learn.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
about to learn today.
So, they're finishing up this practice, and the other students are complaining to Carlos about the way this thing sounds. So he's now starting to get a little bit worried about how he can make it sound better,
Good.
keeping in mind that this rehearsal is like in a couple of hours and this
Yes.
performance is tomorrow. And so just as Carlos is worrying about all this, we see the Frizz enter the classroom, and she's like all dressed up as a one-woman band. She's got like this rig
Classic.
on her with
Yes,
drums and
the Mary
cymbals and
Poppins, Dick Van
everything.
Dyke situation. Yeah.
Exactly. And naturally, because she's who she is, whatever she's playing sounds awesome. So she comes in playing this
Beautiful.
cool, jaunty tune. It's actually really cool. I'm like, damn, girl, you get it, get it. And Dorothy Ann, she tells the Frizz that she's worried now about them making the rehearsal on time. And Carlos tells the Frizz that he's worried about the sound of his instrument. So the Frizz kind of sees that her students are down, and she stops playing her instrument and everything. And is like, all right, well, we should probably get on the bus. We should get loaded up, and we should get going over to the sound museum so that we're not late. You're right, Dorothy Ann. And on the way, Carlos, we can figure out your instrument. Like, don't worry, we'll get there. So the kids all go out to the Magic School Bus. They get loaded up, and they do make their way across town to this rehearsal at the sound museum. Carlos, he's doing what the Frizz said. He's in the back seat of this bus, or in the back of this bus, trying to figure out a way to make this instrument sound better. But he realizes that he is running out of time, and he's getting a little bit stressed and a lot of it worried.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Good.
he's sitting there just kind of like thinking out loud with his classmates, and he says, like, I can imagine what I want this thing to sound like. Like I can hear the perfect sound in my mind.
He has the vision.
But I just don't know how to make it. Yes, he's got a vision. He's got his creative vision, but he doesn't know how to do it or how to make that sound, which like, well, oh man, I can relate. That's just it's so hard. It's like you can think of something, but you're like, how do I create that
How to
exact
get it from
sound
here
or
to
whatever?
there? Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you, Carlos. I could feel his pain on this, but at the same time, I never thought that this sort of instrument would
Would be the solution.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I can kind of empathize with you here, Carl, or Carlos,
and then we
or
lose you.
sympathize
Yeah.
with you. Exactly. You lost me a little bit, but so Carlos, he just keeps like putting more things onto this instrument because
no.
again, he's like, if it looks cool, then it'll sound cool. Or like, if I like the way it looks, then I'll like the way it sounds. To him, this is how sound works. So one of
Okay.
the things that he puts on is like a top hat. I think at one point he's like, "Yeah,
Also, his
top hat,
definition
that's
of cool.
snazzy, cool." Carlos is an old soul, okay?
You're right. You're right. He's not very hip. Okay.
Carlos is like, "Yeah, I want it to sound nice and like it's going to the dot, going to the sock hop. So yeah, I don't know, and I also don't know where he got this top hat from, but
It's least of
he
our
just like whips it
worries.
exactly at this point. So he tries playing it again and he realizes that the top hat is not doing it for him. It's not making this instrument sound any better. So
Mhm.
he basically just like throws the instrument down and throws his hands up. And he kind of just like begs to the gods, like, please, I wish I had more time to get
I know
this
where
thing
that's
right.
going. Begging to the gods, you
Could you could you perhaps see anyone's earrings lighting up
say?
as a
Glowing a little
response?
bit.
Glowing,
A twinkle in her eye.
their little music note shaped
Cute.
earrings just start to glow.
Classic.
And yes, seemingly like magic, if
Like
you will,
magic.
like magic, the school bus begins to sputter and stall and eventually breaks down in the middle of an empty road in the woods as
Oh
the
no.
sun is beginning to set behind
Oh
the
no. Okay.
students. Like I said, this must have been a long drive out to the
Yeah,
sound museum
damn.
because it was just
Took some
morning,
wrong
or
turns.
perhaps
Okay.
again, some of that good old magic at
Someone
work.
had a plan. Okay.
hmm The Frizz, she like turns around to the kids and says, "Guys, don't worry. This bus breaks down every episode. Remember, we're good. We're
Guys,
good."
don't worry. I know this is abandoned road and there's probably maybe a
Yeah,
creepy house nearby, but like it's chill. You got that weird
we're
instrument,
fine.
Carl? Great.
Great. Just keep
Carl's, yeah.
working on that. And you know what? I'm gonna go fix the bus. I'll lock these doors so you guys will be safe in here.
You
Let
better
me
hope
go
nothing
fix
gets in
this.
here though, because you're gonna be
No
locked in.
problem. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, so she does tell them not to worry and that it'll just take her a moment to fix whatever repairs are needed on this bus.
Okay.
So Carlos is like, yes, thank God we got some extra time here. So he gets back to
Mm.
work on the instrument. And Dorothy is like sitting by, Dorothy Ann, excuse me, is sitting by, both now worrying about Carlos not making any progress on this instrument and the fact that they're going to be running even
Oh,
later than
yes.
expected. Yeah, like she is a stickler for time today, a stickler
Yeah.
for time. But the Frizz, she's now done a quick diagnostic test on the bus, and she realizes that it's actually going to take her a lot longer to make these
Mm.
repairs than they
She did
originally
a test
thought.
on the
So she
bus. Air
she
quotes.
she like
Mm.
looks up over the hood to make sure none of the kids are looking and just like bangs a wrench around to make some noise. Like, uh-huh, that's
Ah,
broken. All right. All right, kids, it's gonna be 5 more hours.
She actually like hid like a little snack in there. She's like, it's gonna be a long one. Bang, bang,
Liz
bang,
is
bang,
like
bang.
Liz is sipping on a juice pack as she's like
Yeah.
watching the Frizz make these
Yeah, helping
repairs,
her
quote
make some
unquote.
noises.
Yeah. So DA, she goes outside after the Frizz kind of like shouts up to them, like, all right, guys, gonna take a little bit longer. DA goes out there to like take a look for herself and she asks the Frizz, like,
Roll up
come
her
on, like,
sleeves.
I know. She's like, all right, fucking fine, I'll do it
I'ma
myself,
fix
you
it.
know? Yeah. According to my research, I know
Oh,
how to fix this
research.
whole
I'm a
bus.
mechanic.
Yeah. But she just kind of asks the Frizz, like, is there anything we can do, anything at all to make sure we get to this dress rehearsal on time? Like, I feel like we're so close. How much further is it?
Mhm.
And one of the funniest lines of the show in any episode
Okay.
we've covered so far, in my opinion, the Frizz looks at DA like, well, there is one thing we can do.
Okay.
And the camera instantly cuts to them. It's like nighttime, deep in the dark woods, a dark, somber, like a Undertaker theme music playing, and all we see is the Frizz pulling
Duh.
the magic. Yeah, dun 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 dun. And you just see the Frizz pulling the magic school bus uphill by rope, and all of the students, besides
No.
Carlos, are pushing it up behind.
I thought you were gonna be like, and they're at this like scary front door knocking on it, but this is so much worse.
Oh, we'll get there.
Well,
Don't
good. That's
worry.
why I thought we'd get there immediately. Like, oh, go ask that
Mhm.
house. And I was like, that's so unsafe to send this child to this dark house. But oh, it's first.
No, first they're tortured. First, the Frizz, forces manual labor upon these fourth
Those children
graders.
are gonna die. Like that bus is gonna roll over them for sure. There's
Yeah.
no way. Without her
Well,
magic,
that was
they'd be so
I
dead.
was also so I would thankfully this made me laugh so much when I saw it that I had to pause the episode so I wouldn't miss anything. So it also gave me a moment to like reflect and think what would be more cruel of a depiction? The kids pushing this bus up from the rear or them being the ones pulling it by a chain or
Oh,
by like a
pulling it.
rope? Because I was like, just like you said, okay, this shit could roll on them. Like if the frizz falls or
Yeah,
something,
she slips on some
and it
mud.
just yeah. And first of all, she's as strong as seven children. Like that's
Yeah.
not actually surprising. That's the least surprising
Right,
part
again,
of all
she's
of
definitely
this.
using magic up there, but like
But then I imagine the visual of seven kids like pulling
pulling
this thing
it,
up by a rope,
yeah.
and I was like, "There's no way
It
out of this. There's
looks
no winning."
worse. Yeah, it looks
Exactly.
worse up front.
Yeah.
Logistically, it's actually worse behind. More dangerous
Yes.
behind.
Like in the real world. Yeah. So
Yeah,
just
wow, that's so
that was
fun. That's
hilarious. Yeah.
unexpected.
And also the fact that it just instantly is now nighttime. It's dark out.
It's been
We
taking
hear
a
like
long time.
owls hooting. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they're huffing and puffing and sweating and
Oh
like taking like
no.
little step by little step as they're pushing this
They're
bus
like,
up.
is this
And it's
part of the
uphill, by the way. If I
lesson?
didn't mention, it's very much uphill,
Oh, of
like
course. Yeah, yeah.
steep incline. Yeah. So that was just very funny to me. And yeah, like I said, it's creepy and spooky and dark out now. We hear
Hmm.
owls kind of like hooting in the background and insects chirping and I
Hmm.
think we hear some like wolves howling in the distance. So
Okay.
it's
You better not be the weakest child
creepy.
left behind the pack, because
This is why Carlos is still inside. He's like, I'm not going out there.
he's like, I'm working on
I
my
have to work on
instrument.
my instrument.
You're
Yeah.
like, Carl, your instrument is like 80 pounds. Get it off the bus.
I know, right? Throw this shit away. Just start whistling for your solo instead. It'll
Yeah,
be
fuck it.
better at this point, man. So the gang, they continue hauling the magic school bus up this hill as the full moon is setting behind them. And we then see, even though it's like still clear out and night, a nice but creepy night, we see
Uh-huh.
lightning and thunder begin to strike.
No.
And like I said, the sound of nighttime critters is filling the air.
Hmm.
And they soon begin to hear another sound in the air. One that's almost like enchanting or
Oh
mesmerizing.
no. Okay.
It's almost like a siren call, and I don't mean like a siren, like an alarm siren.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean
like a
like a
siren.
mermaid siren.
Yeah, SIREN,
Yes,
siren. Yeah.
yes. And this sound seems to be calling the Frizz and her students towards its direction.
Oh
And it's like an
no.
echoey, light, orchestral moaning
I mean,
with
this sounds
like
beautiful also.
it's
I
very
would
rhythmic.
get
It
got by
is.
this
It's
siren for sure.
it is. I'm not gonna lie. Like it is. I chose the word enchanting
Yes, that's what
very
got me.
specifically because I was
Yes.
listening to it like, ooh, like it's creepy, but you can't not like, ooh, like feel it
Drift
and feel
towards it.
drawn exactly
Okay.
towards it.
Hmm.
So they follow this noise for a bit longer until they find themselves approaching, like you predicted, an old Gothic Victorian looking mansion behind a large gate sitting on top of this hill, illuminated only by the lightning that is flashing behind it.
Okay.
So the students, they see this and they're obviously like, yeah, no. No.
We're rolling this bus back down.
Yeah,
We're
Miss
going back
Friz,
down.
let go, please.
Take us.
Yeah,
Okay,
take
I'm
us
glad their
away.
reaction is like correct right now.
Yes,
Like we'll just
yes,
sleep
for
on the
the
bus
most
till
part.
daylight.
Right. They're like, oh no, we don't need to. We're good. We're good here. Someone will
Yeah.
come and find us eventually if we all
Yeah.
just stick together
Our parents
inside
are
the
definitely
bus and
looking
lock
for
the
us.
bus.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, they're hesitant to continue walking towards this obviously haunted looking house that also
Yes.
looks abandoned and just very creepy. And like given the circumstances, probably not the right time to just be like knocking
Yeah.
on random doors
Any,
and
even
stuff.
not creepy doors, but any doors. Yeah.
Yeah, any door for real. But DA, being the stickler for time, being the conductor of this
Girl,
orchestra,
you've missed rehearsal.
she doesn't know that yet, Grace. You can't prove that to her yet
It's
until they
nighttime.
get
The
to the
moon has
sound
risen.
museum.
The owls and wolves are out.
They will wait for them. They told them that they will wait for the Frizz's class, okay?
The
At least DA thinks
museum
so.
is now like the ground zero for the operation to find these children. Okay, the rehearsal's out the window. They've got the computers there. They've got the phone lines. The families are gathered there. The museum is no longer a rehearsal space.
It is now a joint operation task force.
Yes. Multiple counties have come together. The
Yeah, the
FBI came in.
feds
There's
are
a lot of
here.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah, like DHS is there, like everyone.
Yeah.
This is 8 kids and a teacher. Like, this is very serious.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's hilarious. So DA is like, listen, maybe they'll at least have a telephone in there. Okay. We don't have to stay long, but we can just run in, make a phone call a tow truck for the bus, and then they can get us out of here.
I'm shaking my head 'cause
Presumably, so that we can make it to the rehearsal. Yeah.
This is how the horror movies start. Like just one quick phone call.
Literally. And
Just
as I was
one
typing this and like
thing.
watching this, yeah.
Yeah, you were like, this is the beginning of the end. Also, as a irrelevant side note, I realized 8 seconds after I said it that when we were saying siren versus siren, I was like, oh, let me spell out
They are
siren.
spelled the same way.
'Cause I was like, wait, it's the same thing. But in my mind, it's different entirely.
Yeah.
I'm like,
No,
siren,
not that
capital S?
SIREN.
Yeah.
That SIREN.
SIREN.
Yeah.
The one I care about more, the mythical one.
I'll say, like, so I 1,000% understood what you meant when you said that, but in my mind, I was like, they are spelled the same way. But I was like, just give them a
I was like, they're still the same way, but like it's siren, not siren.
Which also, I mean, petition to any sirens listening, like the mesmerizing sirens, like maybe like change it to SY. I don't know.
Yeah, make it a little
just
more
to like
mythical.
yeah. Although to be fair, I feel like the object siren got its name from the
Yeah.
like the
But they can
mythical
still
siren, but,
retroactively
like,
change
yeah,
it
you
with
can
a
do it
Y.
differently. Yeah, SY. And also that's like more mysterious.
Yes,
SYREN,
exactly.
like siren.
It's a little more
Yeah.
mystical, enchanting, if you
So
will.
just saying, if you're listening, like, comment,
We know you
subscribe.
are.
Consider putting a Y in place of the I. So,
Some
anyways,
unsolicited advice.
yeah. So, DA, like I said, she's telling the kids and the Frizz, look, we'll just make this quick phone call in, out, and then someone can come save us and get the truck or get the bus.
Okay.
So the class caves. It's like, all right, fine, but you're going in first. You're
Yeah,
going in.
exactly.
Actually, we're not going in. Like, you
Yeah,
find
you're
the phone
going
then.
in, you make the
find
call
phone.
and you come back to us.
Yeah. But the class caves, they ignore their better judgment and they agree to quickly and briefly go inside just to make this phone call and just as quickly make their escape back to safety. But as they are, because again, this is still at the top of the hill, so they're still going up. And as they're making their way closer and closer to the door, they keep hearing that like creepy but enchanting,
Oh no.
like
Music.
echoey sound, hypnotic sound, just getting louder and louder, which now to them confirms that the sound is coming from inside the house. So it's almost as if this house is calling to them to come in. Yes.
Nope,
And I was like,
no,
this is literally straight up horror movie shit.
Get
Like
those
this,
earphones
if it wasn't
on,
so cute and like the Frizz wasn't making jokes and shit in between, like this actually would be the plot of a really good horror movie.
Exactly. Yeah, you're getting entranced into this house and okay. It's
like fighting amongst yourselves. What
Yeah,
did you do with the map? Why did you kick the map in the
Discord is gonna
river?
happen. Yes.
Exactly. Carlos, he, as we've kind of predicted here, getting entranced in the sound, he's unable to resist this noise. Again, he's the one who's like trying to figure out the method of making the perfect sound so that he can get his instrument right. So he hears this thing and he's like, oh my God, I need that. Like, I need to not only know what it was, I need to know what created my precious. I need to know.
I'm just like picturing this as like in the horror movie version, like this is an actual band or something like that. And this is the band member who's like been having a hard time, but he's like, this is the sound I've been chasing. Like they have the next album coming out. He's the sound maker. He's the producer. He's like, this is the sound. I know we'll find it here.
But also it's like he's like just getting out of rehab or something like that or something he's got to like so that really there can be the plausible deniability about like, is he just like in relapse or like coming back into drug use or is he actually
genius?
And like the pub, he's under a lot of public scrutiny, so it's got to be
this
perfect.
Band is
so
gonna
much
break
pressure.
Up by the end of this for sure.
Our idea.
Orchestra.
Our idea.
Yeah. Trademark. Copyright.
Exactly.
Okay.
Give it all. Give it all to
Yeah,
us.
I see it all. I see it happening.
So Carlos, unable to resist this noise, he actually kind of like pushes past the rest of the group and starts running towards the house even
Oh
faster.
no.
And meanwhile, Tim, Arnold, and Ralphie are like doing the opposite, like slowly backing away, like, yeah, no, fuck that. Nuh-uh. No, no,
Not
no.
today.
But Carlos, he runs right up to the doors and he reaches out so that he can push the doors open and go find the source of this sound. But before he can actually put a hand on the door, it just
Doesn't
slowly creaks open by itself until it's fully wide open, welcoming the Frizz and her class inside
to
like
their
long
doom.
lost guests that are ready for a nice meal and
And
perhaps
they're the
some nice
meal.
music. So
Okay.
as
Y'all.
soon as they enter, though, they all
And
kind
they
of, well,
still go
Carlos
in.
runs in. They still go in. Carlos is so excited. The
No.
Frizz follows behind him, and a couple of the other students are like right with her, like, all right, whatever, we're doing this now, I guess. While a few of them are more skeptical and like kind of tiptoeing last.
Few of them are
But as
correct. Okay.
soon, yes, and they are extremely correct, and they find that out immediately after because once the last student comes in and the whole gang is inside, that door immediately slams shut on its own and
Y'all,
locks.
no. And locks?
It locks. They try to turn around and open it. It will not budge. It's either
Miss Friz,
glued
you've gone
shut
too
or locked
far
shut.
in this lesson.
Yeah, this
Whatever's
is too much,
happening
Frizz.
here, this has gone too far. Whatever
This is
this
too
is,
much.
this is now, a lot of these field trips the kids can look back on and laugh. This one, they're gonna be talking to the
Not
therapist
such.
about. This one, if they ever have a car breakdown again, they're gonna have a panic attack. This,
Mm-mm, no. Yeah.
okay.
Like they'll laugh in the way that like the Joker laughs because he's like in a
Yeah,
straitjacket because it's gonna drive
exactly.
them insane.
Yeah, this is not
So
good. Okay. Too
this is
far,
not
too
good.
far.
Yeah, like you said, you're taking it too far. I wish I
Yeah.
had thought of that too. Like, yeah, what the hell, Frizz? This is too much. But I guess
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm too in it. But you're right. Like,
Yeah,
'cause
this is
we
too
as
far.
it's no spoiler to say that the Frizz is always behind all of the stuff
Exactly.
that they
Even if
go
she just
through.
like
But it's
paid
like
someone to like get whatever set up, too far.
exactly too much.
Yeah.
So now that they're locked in, they still know that they need to find a phone, but they also realize like, well, we're here. We might as well like look around or like not stand by this creepy door that just, shut on its own behind
Okay.
us.
Okay.
So they're moseying around this mansion, looking both for the source of this mysterious sound and for a phone, obviously.
Hmm.
And they stumble into a library and they find a bunch of books that have like different pictures on the front of them.
Okay.
And I think one of them has a phone on it. So DA sees that and is like, oh, maybe this is a phone book. Cool.
Yeah. Find
We'll
someone
call
to
a tow truck,
call.
normal. But she opens it and there's no words inside. All that happens is noise comes out of the book, like on some Harry Potter shit or something, like
Oh.
with the mail, with the
Oh.
letters or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And in this case,
Okay.
the book with the phone on it just makes a phone ringing noise, basically.
Cool if you weren't locked in. Cool if this
Exactly.
wasn't the
Cool
rest
if
of the
this
entire
was
scenario.
exactly cool if like someone was bringing this in for a demonstration about something like, hey guys, look at these
Yeah.
new audiobooks or what
If I wanted
legit
to audio.
audiobooks, sound books.
Yeah, this would be cool if
A
I chose
twist.
to be here.
Exactly. This would be cool if I wasn't here against my will.
Yeah.
Yes, without a doubt. And the books get creepier and creepier. Like I said, the first one sounds like a phone. There's another one that has a foghorn on it that the Frizz
Classic.
opens up and it makes a foghorn
Foghorn.
noise. There's another one that one of the students like knocks off of a shelf and it opens and it's like this really ghoulish, like mischievous laughter. Like, yeah, no.
No, burn that one.
Burn it.
You do
And
not
burn
want to
it.
find whose like soul got taken and put into this book for that one.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Which the way that you just phrased that would make me think like, whose house is that? Where are we?
Yeah, where
And
that's my first question is
who has it?
hello? Sorry.
Hello?
Sorry to barge in. No one's asked for the owner, homeowner.
No one knocked, no one did anything.
Yeah.
Nope. And yeah, this at this point, the kids are now like, Miss Frizzle, who the fuck's house is this? Why are
Sorry,
we
who
here?
owns this? Yeah. Why
Yeah,
are we here?
like they
Okay.
are asking her legitimately, like, why would they have these books and why do they live in such a weird, creepy, scary looking place?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the Frizz at this point walks up to a large portrait that's hanging on a wall nearby. She points to it and explains to the kids that the house belonged to a woman named Professor Cornelia C. Contralto. And
Okay.
this woman was apparently an eccentric collector of sounds. And I guess also a professor of like musicology or something, or some
Okay.
expert in the field of music. And obviously, this is the portrait that she points to on the wall.
Yeah.
So the Frizz then goes on to say that Contralto was born in the year 1807, but disappeared in the year 1892.
Sorry,
And
disappeared?
disappeared, yeah, she says explicitly disappeared,
Frizz.
which
You've gone too far.
obviously
You've gone
gets
too
the
far.
students' interest exactly in like not a good way, and like they're
Okay.
terrified and scared, and they exactly like you, they're like disappeared.
Yeah, hold
What?
on.
Who? What said now? Huh? What
Yeah, hold on, back
now?
up.
But the Frizz continues and says, and after she vanished, they turned her house, this house, into the Walkerville Sound Museum.
Okay, so there's in the museum,
Much
so they made it there. Okay, now, okay.
again, Frizz, you're taking it too far. You should have
And why did
led
the
with
doors have to
this.
lock? Was it what?
Exactly. That's
Where,
creepy.
where
Is it
was
like the
this?
security system?
Yeah, do you not have like a sign turned on saying like Museum of Sound? Like where you did
Exactly.
you unplug that when you walked in? What now why is
Right.
this Museum of
Too
Sound in the middle?
far.
I have
Right. You could have told us that. You could have
you
told us
you
from
were
the
already
jump.
on your way there. Why'd you have to make
Yeah,
it creepy?
exactly.
You could have just
Like,
pulled
could
up.
have just pulled up, didn't have to go through all this, weird, creepy anyway.
Just
It's the
pulled up.
Frizz. You
You've
learn
gone
better
too
when you're in a
far.
position of fear or
Panic.
duress.
Yeah.
You learn your lesson better. So,
Would you rather be loved or feared? Fred says feared.
feared. I don't care how these students feel about me as long as they're afraid of me.
Yeah, because they're gonna
Yeah,
remember. You know what? I guess
exactly.
I would remember that traumatizing experience.
Yeah, exactly. But also, it's like none of these kids are ever going to want to play an instrument ever in their life
I
again
know
because
they're
they're
just
going to
all of
equate it
their,
to this.
and it sounds like they were savants, like they're fourth graders playing beautiful music. All of it, those
Hmm.
careers are over right
Ruined.
now.
So much talent ruined. They could have
Yeah,
changed the
gone
world.
down the drain.
Yeah. So DA, kind of like we are, DA is like, are you serious? We
You're
could have
fucking kidding me?
tell me this was the sound museum. But no, she's more so upset because she realizes that at this point they have indeed absolutely missed the rehearsal because like no one else is here. This place is obviously closed for
Yeah,
the night
they're going door to
and
door
has been
checking those
closed for a
families to
while.
see if the kids are at. Did the kids all come here after school? They didn't show up for
Anywhere, yeah.
rehearsal.
And now that they're here, no one's like, well, now that it's closed, no one will think to go back and look
Right? Why would they go
there.
back? It's
Yeah. So like, no, we're not
closed.
gonna go to the sound museum to look for them. It's closed.
Yeah,
It's
they
been
never showed
closed. They wouldn't
up.
be there.
They knew it would be
So
closed by now. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
So Frizz, she tells the kids that everyone's already gone home for the night, and that now though they have the whole place to themselves, actually. So like they should be excited.
So you're
A
welcome.
la Night at the
Kids.
Museum.
Hell
Exactly.
yeah.
So the Frizz, she starts to give these kids a mini tour of the museum as if she's been there many times before, which
Hmm.
now that we know it's the museum, of course the Frizz has been there many
Also,
times before.
Riz, a witch. How old is she? Did she disappear herself? Why
No.
does she know this house so well? Hmm. I have
Maybe.
some
Does she seems to know a
theories.
lot about Professor Cornelia C. Contralto, kind of hard to say
Hmm.
over and over again.
Okay.
Was she alive in 1807 or in
Suspicious.
1892? Any of the years
Interesting.
that Cornelia C. Contralto lived? And also, I guess now I'll just say, because I don't think I put it anywhere else in here, that like her name is obviously a music pun.
Yes, yeah,
Contralto
yeah,
is
contralto.
a singing style that it's like the lowest pitch singing
Mm.
that a female singer or a woman singer can
Oh,
obtain.
cool.
I look because I was curious, like, who is that? Because I think it's kind of rare, but also I looked it up, like what singers are known for being contraltos, and
Oh,
the list was actually pretty long though. But some of the hits were like Cher.
I knew you were gonna say Cher. That's the
Yeah,
only one I
Amy
could think of.
Winehouse, rest in
Oh yeah.
peace. Lana Del Rey too, though. Who else?
Okay.
Oh, like Shaka Khan and Gladys Knight were on there. It was
Okay.
almost,
Oh.
and I know I was surprised because the list was really long. Like there's so many, Katie Tunstall. Yeah, so
Huh.
it basically is like that super low that everyone wishes they could get that
Yeah,
real low,
yeah.
sultry voice, but no one actually can unless you're one of those goddesses that I just
Right, yeah.
named.
Yeah, I was gonna say you named only icons. Got it.
Yeah, basically, like it was
Yeah,
Tina
and like
Turner
all
was on the
sultry.
list. Like it was
Oh
all
yeah.
icons. So I think that the list on Wikipedia was more so any songstress who has been described as a contralto at some
Oh,
point. So it's
versus
like
maybe
they may have other
necessarily.
ranges.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I think just think of like the very low, sultry pitch sort of
Yes.
voices that are just like butter when you hear
Oh
them.
yeah,
And yeah,
baby.
just that. And then obviously the key of
Straight to the
C, like
soul.
all of her initials are C's. The
Yeah.
key of C is like the most commonly used key of music. So it's
Hmm.
just like a pun on like,
Go
look at
on.
her.
Yeah. Cute.
C and contralto. Yeah.
Like it.
Anyways, so the Frizz, like I said, she's given the kids this mini tour and they're walking down a hall of portraits of Professor Contralto. And the Frizz continues to tell everyone a little bit about this lady's life,
Okay.
telling them that she basically dedicated her entire life to sound and to like figuring out what creates sound, how sounds are
Mm.
created, how different sounds can sound different ways. And she liked to almost collect sounds in a sense.
Okay.
But again, she hasn't elaborated on this whole like disappearance in 1892 thing.
Yeah, I'm like,
So
and how is she collect? I'm imagining she's a witch. How is she collecting those sounds? Again, are there souls in those books of that laughter?
10.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
That's
and
my
that is one way. Actually,
favorite
that's
here.
maybe a half pen because we did already see half of the way that she does it is
Yeah,
by trapping them in books. So like, yeah,
yeah.
obviously.
How'd you get them in a book?
Honestly, maybe so I don't think Contralto was the witch. Maybe the Frizz was the witch that did that part for her.
And what happened to her in
Cord
the end? Who disappeared her? Frizz, what happened?
the
Frizz,
Frizz
did you
doesn't
put
know.
her? Did Frizz trap her in one of the books? In the end, she got too hungry with power and trapped her?
I don't
Frizz,
know.
I got
I don't
questions.
know. But just like we're speculating, the kids also begin to speculate
Good.
that whatever happened to Cornelia C. Contralto, it's very likely that her ghost is somewhere in this building, in this mansion,
Okay,
wandering the halls, still in search of the perfect sound.
cool.
So the Frizz, she's like, yeah, maybe. Either way, we'll have more time to investigate it
Because
tomorrow
we're
because
stuck.
we're
Oh.
spending the night.
Oh, okay. I said that sarcastically, but she means it. Okay.
Nope,
We'll have all
she
night figured
straight up
out,
tells
kids.
them.
We're doing a
Museum's ours tonight.
paranormal lock-in,
Yeah.
fucking Ghost
Kids,
Adventure style.
get your spectrometers or whatever the fuck they're
Yeah.
calling out. Like they all put on
She also
glasses,
like
which also put
turns
a pin
all
in
the
that
lights
too.
off, like the
Yeah.
night vision goggles on.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. Put a pin in night vision goggles.
Oh no. Okay.
So, yes, she tells them that they're going to have more time to investigate tomorrow and that they're spending the night at this museum today. And the kids, at first, they're like, well, there's nowhere in this mansion for us to stay,
Yeah.
which is just hilarious because it's a fucking
A
mansion.
mansion.
But also, I think Arnold is like, our permission slips do not cover haunted houses. Like,
Thank you,
finally,
Arnold.
finally, someone has brought in the consent forms.
I like to picture that Arnold, like in his
Finally.
backpack, actually has like a little file folder of all of them. He's like the lawyer
Miss
of the
Briz.
group. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, no, he's the liability guy.
I love that you just mentioned that too. Put another pen, just drop another pen in
Oh
there
no,
too about,
why?
yeah,
Okay.
because we know this show and you're just you calls him as she sees him and it
I know,
ends
but
up
like,
being
what is this?
exactly
It's
what
gonna come
happens.
back up in some way. That's what makes me worried. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm just on edge
So
because we're in a haunted house.
also
On
fair and
edge.
true,
Okay.
as we should be, just like these kids.
Yes.
So yeah, just as they're making these complaints to the Frizz and being like, we can't stay here. One of the kids, I think it's Tim, he accidentally triggers a good old secret trap door or whatever, where
Oh
like they're all
no.
standing by a fireplace and the wall turns around, very Scooby-Doo-esque,
Mm.
and it leads them into an adjacent room that happens to have 8 neatly made beds, all with nice clean sheets and everything, nicely spaced apart from each other.
I like
And
that.
just down the hallway from that a teacher's annex with, a much bigger bed, space for the
Oh,
frizz for herself. There's lots of lighting in here, elegant decor. It's a very clean room,
I don't like it.
almost as if the frizz and her students were expected.
Yeah,
So
I don't want to stay here. I'm going back on the bus and sleep in one of those seats.
going home. Yeah, I'm cool.
Oh,
Liz, you and me, we're sleeping outside tonight.
yeah, I'm get a
Although
pile of
actually, no, that would
leaves.
probably kill Liz because it's fall now, it's cold.
Yeah, I
So
just don't like it. Who's expecting me?
it's
Who is
yeah, and
expecting
the Frizz
me?
is just cool with it. She's fine with it because she's like, look, how nice is this? This is probably
Looks
nicer than your room at home, guys.
pretty.
And it is like a super nice room.
No, what
So she
cost?
sends the kids to bed. She's like, all right, gang, get a good night's rest. We got a big show
Bye.
tomorrow. So I'll be over here in my annex. Hopefully, I don't wake you up and you guys get a good night's sleep.
Oh my God.
So the kids all instantly hop into these beds and duck under their covers.
Okay,
Like,
good.
okay, yeah. They're like, I guess if we have to stay here, like, we're fucking hiding. This is
I'm gonna be
terrifying.
safe. I'm gonna be saving myself.
Yes.
Okay.
And now we're fully aware now that this is like a haunted house episode. Obviously, I said it
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
jump,
yeah.
but I've given you plenty of examples of the creepy, weird things and just like how this house is strange, trap doors, secret
Yes.
hallways, weird stuff
Ghosts.
going on. And eccentric matriarch, I guess, if you will, who
Yeah.
built the mansion and
Oh,
lived in the
yes.
mansion. And look, it's Halloween season for this
What are you gonna tell me
podcast.
about?
And I know this episode's already going to be long, but I could not. I
Okay.
think by law of Saturday morning mysteries, I am literally required to talk about a real world famous quote unquote haunted house.
Yes, yes, yes. Which
And
one? Which
now
one? Tell me.
I
Okay.
think you already know based on the way I just led into that. We're going to talk about probably the most famous quote unquote haunted house in America, one of
Mhm.
them at least, the Winchester Mystery
Yes, as
House.
soon as you said eccentric matriarch, I was like,
Yes. Oh, trap doors,
interesting.
hallways leading to
Leading to
nowhere,
nowhere.
secret
Oh
hallways
my
and
God.
passageways.
Yes.
Yes. And also,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure we've like casually mentioned or
We've
name
never done
dropped
a
this
deep dive.
place a
We've
few
just been
times.
like, oh yeah, like
Exactly.
the Winchester house,
This
haha, and
house.
then moved on.
Exactly. Yes. And
Yes.
now, to be fair, because I'm super interested in this house, and there was a 2018, so not super recent, still feels
Mhm.
recent. God, that was like 7 years ago that there was a movie based on this that came out, like a
Oh
horror
yeah,
movie. I watched it. It's not bad. I mean, I watched it a few years ago, not like I watched it for this episode or
recently, yeah.
anything. It's not bad. Like, go and see it if you want.
It's not
I'm
good.
not gonna lie. It's okay. And I should probably give it another chance, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought it was boring. And also because I
Mm,
feel like just listening to actual docu-series about this house is way more interesting than some
yeah.
like fictionalized horror
Yeah, and like
movie
learning
about
about
it.
her is also fascinating. Like
Exactly,
that's
is super interesting. So we're gonna kind of go deep into this. We're gonna go like halfway deep into this just because again,
great
like this is already a long
for
episode.
sake of time.
I'm almost halfway through my script, so we got a lot left here.
Okay.
And also because the more that I read about this house and the more like video essays I watch or listen to about
Yeah.
this place and like about Sarah Winchester, the more I'm like, ooh, this is a story that actually deserves like a lot of attention and care in a way
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because as like all conspiracy theories and stuff and all like supernatural stories as we've talked about a lot this
Many times.
season with like Nessie's cousin and
Yes.
with the skunk ape and like a lot of stuff is
Bigfoot's
just like word of
cousin.
mouth. Bigfoot's cousin, yeah. A lot of stuff is just word of mouth, and I
Yeah.
feel like Sarah Winchester her name has been sullied only because, and I'll
Mm.
get to it in a second, but because this is basically the story of a very strong and actually good woman
Yes.
just living her life and getting over a lot of trauma. But
Yes.
because she's reclusive, the world and the people around her
Especially
decided
at the
to depict her in
time.
a certain way.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, what is this story about? We're going to do a little spiel. I feel like people
Yeah.
should like really do a deep dive about this and learn as much as you can about it.
Right. And again,
But
like about Sarah, because also you're saying it's like it's also a
exactly,
story of like mental health and like the treatment of women at
exactly,
the time and yeah, like just like the
exactly.
demonizing of her and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So basically, the Winchester Mystery House, it's this mansion in San Jose, California, so not far from San Francisco, kind of northern central California. that was once the personal residence of who we've just been talking about, Sarah Winchester. And I should have put down her maiden name, but whatever, that was her married name. She was the widow of a firearms magnate, William Wirt Winchester.
Yes.
Of the famous Winchester gun.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It was like one of the first, basically, like not automatic, but it could hold more rounds of ammunition and like could reload faster than other ones. So it was almost like a predecessor to automatic munitions.
Oh, interesting.
So basically, Sarah, she was born in 1839 in New Haven, Connecticut, so literally opposite side of the country, and interestingly, reportedly in a pro-abolitionist, free-thinking, relatively progressive family. Like they had salons with like Renaissance thing, or not Renaissance because it was later than that, but like that area, that era of, yeah, exactly. Free like thought. Just free progressive thinkers coming together, exchanging ideas, and then most importantly, being pro-abolition.
Yeah.
So she married William Wirt Winchester in 1862. And he actually was an old childhood friend of hers. And I believe they were neighbors when they were kids. So they knew each other for a really long time. And the Winchester family actually, like the husband's family, didn't start their gun manufacturing until after they got married. So I think they started like making shirts or like a tie, like apparel, things like that. And then they moved into the gun making industry down the road.
Okay. So
Sarah Winchester and her husband honestly faced a lot of loss and grief and pain early on in their relationship. So like I said, they got married in 1862, and in 1866, they attempted to give birth to a daughter, or well, they did give birth to a daughter, but the infant was diagnosed with a nutrient deficiency causing condition that led to her dying only a month later.
Oh, God.
I know. And after that, they were like, okay, yeah, they were so distraught by it that they never tried to have kids again. That in and of itself would be enough to drive even a sane person pretty mad, or just like into a really difficult mental state.
Yeah.
But things got even worse. Between the fall of 1880 and the spring of 1881, so like 4 or 5 years later, Sarah's mother, father-in-law, so William's dad, and William himself, her husband, all died.
Oh, no.
Yes, from various causes.
Oh, God.
But because of this, she was left with a large inheritance from her husband, who at this point, the gun company had gotten off its feet and was doing very well.
Yeah.
So in 1884, though, so then 4 more years later, her eldest sister, Mary, also died.
Oh, my God.
So in this like less than 20-year span,
time to be alive.
Truly, just, I mean, everywhere she looked, just someone was dying, and it was just, it was bad. And like I said, she never wanted to have kids again. Now, I think she did have a couple of other siblings too, because a couple of her sisters, or like a sister and an aunt maybe, moved with her to California.
Yeah, to San Jose.
So it's not like everyone in her family died, but like that's too many people still for like that short a period of time. So then things got even worse, though, when around that same time in the mid-1880s, Winchester began developing symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis. So she was having less like control of her faculties, I guess, and like, you know, just joints. A lot more pain, probably. Yeah. So her doctor suggested that a warmer and drier climate might help to improve her health. Thus, she decided to move to California. And I believe she was like 45 or 46. I put mid-40s. Anyways, when she moved to California. So when she was younger, she had a very strong interest and passion for architecture and like interior design, as did her husband. So this was something that they had already done before moving to California. Like they would buy farmhouses and kind of like rehab them. I think they did at least one in Connecticut before she moved to California. But then when she moved to California, she immediately bought this 8-room farmhouse in San Jose and was like, all right, boom, this is my new canvas. Yeah, like she put all of her energy and like her attention into just reconstructing this house. Because again, it's just a habit, or like an interest and a hobby of hers. So from 1886, the year she moved out there, to 1922, The construction on this house
Oh my God, I didn't
seemingly
realize it was
never
that
ceased.
long.
That long. God, I did the math. I wish I would have written that down. Was that 36 years, I
I was gonna say it's
think?
almost
Yeah,
40
I think
years.
36. Yeah. So she just kept building and adding more and more
Mhm.
things onto what would quickly become like the world's most unusual and sprawling mansion.
Confusing. Yeah.
And so, yes. And so some of the features, first of all, it was 24,000 square feet by the time it
I
was
don't even
done
have
being
a concept
constructed.
of
I don't,
what that is.
Amazon fulfillment warehouse, maybe?
Yeah, right.
Like, that's the closest I can get, maybe. 10,000 windows. Imagine paying for that window cleaning or
That
for
window
like,
cleaner, that's the only client they have. Once they
they
finish,
need
they
no more.
restart immediately. It's just a
Yeah,
constant
it's like an
flow.
annual process.
Yeah.
2,000 doors.
$2,000.
2,000
Too many doors.
2000, two and three zeros, 160 rooms, 52 skylights, 47 stairways and fireplaces,
Oh my
17
God.
chimneys, 13 bathrooms, and 6 kitchens, just to name a few of the features. The
Damn.
price tag at that time was $5 million for such a construction, or sorry, in
Damn.
1923. So, yeah, I guess in the year that it was finished, not in the year that it started.
Yeah.
And that today equates to $71 million,
Okay, there we go. I was
give or
like,
take. Yeah. You're like, oh, 5 million for all that? Oh no,
easy.
inflation.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
So Sarah, like I said before, well, okay, before I talk more about her, I guess, because that's like really all I say about the description of the house, but I should
Yeah.
add, like, there are some oddities other than that, if that wasn't enough of an oddity.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the hallways in this house were just like kind of labyrinths. Like, basically, it was a maze
Yeah.
getting through there. Because, like I said, she just kept building, kept reconstructing things until she thought it was perfect. So, if she didn't like something, then she'd be like, tear it down, start over,
Yeah.
let's do something different.
Well,
Or she would kind of just like pause them in the middle of their construction and
mhm.
like she would take little breaks and be like, all right, construction guys, you guys go take a break too. And then when they would come back, they would have to like try to pick back up where they were. And
Mhm.
sometimes it wasn't always perfect, or like there was an earthquake one year that kind of messed up a lot of
Mm.
stuff and they had to like reconstruct things for that. And there were stairwells that led to like empty hallways or to like just a wall. There were doors
Walls.
that opened up with just walls behind them. There was like a
Mhm.
ballroom on like, I don't know, like the third or fourth floor or something like
Yeah,
that. Like if she wanted it done,
it
she
was
had the money.
done.
The construction people that were working on her land like liked her enough that they were like, all right, fine, like whatever, you're paying
Whatever
for
you
us. And like
say.
honestly, you're kind of cool. You're nice. So like sure, whatever you
Yeah.
want. Um, so yeah, the house was definitely weird outside of being like this just continuously growing, sprawling mansion in
Mhm.
like the hills of San Jose that also, like I said, had a bunch of chimneys and eventually had like I have it in here somewhere later, but like a 7-story tower on top of it too, that like you could see from far away, which
Hey, that's
if
pretty
you've
cool.
seen pictures of this place, like you can kind of visualize what I'm talking
Yeah.
about now. But Sarah, like I said before, she was quite a recluse and she really only spent time with the remaining family members she had,
Mhm.
some of whom I mentioned moved to San Jose with her, and with the many construction workers who and like groundskeepers who were helping her
Mhm.
around the house. So like that was her community. Those were the people who really knew her. She didn't make friends outside of her property
Mhm.
for lack of a better term. So she was known to rebuild and abandon a lot of the construction if it didn't meet her expectations, which resulted in this like weird exterior design and the
Mhm.
inside looking like a maze. And it's reported that that 7-story tower I mentioned before was torn down and rebuilt like 16 times
Oh
before
my
she
God.
finished it.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Like
if you imagine people on the outside just watching this over
we're like a
time,
tower
like
goes up,
tower
tower
goes
goes
up,
down, tower goes
boom,
up, tower goes down.
up, down. Yeah. And like, oh, that wing over there was not there last year.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening? Right. Like, that's going to start to
Mhm.
get some speculation from people. So, since she was a recluse, a lot of people in the public began to just view her as this like eccentric rich lady who
Yeah.
was getting into like some sketchy stuff in this mansion. Like, they thought she was hosting seances in there and they
Classic. Don't
thought she was
understand a woman. She's a witch.
exactly. But which also,
Which like we
like,
love
that's not a
witches though.
crime. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, let her have a
I'll hold a
seance if she
seance.
wants. But because they thought she was doing weird, creepy seance stuff, they also thought that she maybe had a bunch of ghosts in there, or that she was at least
Uh,
being tormented by ghosts. Because I think
mm,
some truths about this woman were able to spread through rumors. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
her husband's dead, her infant died, her sister, her mother, her
Right.
blah, blah, blah. All these people died, and her husband owned a gun manufacturing company. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people died from his guns. Like we think that all the ghosts of her family and of the victims of Winchester guns are probably in there tormenting her. And then they
Yeah.
started to speculate that like she had this obsessive, unusual reconstruction of her home being done so that she could distract herself from the ghosts, or so that,
Mm.
it's like, I have to build this until I die because like once the construction on this home stops, like I will die. And so I just have to keep building it because the
Oh,
ghosts are haunting me
interesting.
and blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah.
like that's what people were kind of reading into the situation from outside
Yeah.
of the walls of this mansion. And so, listen, this is basically where I'm going to wrap it all up. But like,
Yeah.
in some, and the reason why I think people should do deeper dives on this woman and like on this
Mm.
story is that, like, to me, it sounds like this was just actually a really awesome woman, grew up like learning a lot about the world around
Yeah.
her and being really interested in a lot of things. She was apparently also a suffragette, and she was
Hell
super
yeah.
pro animal rights. So she was very
Hell
protective of
yeah.
animals. And basically, she just like, after losing so many people in her life, she just like didn't want to deal with people. And she had everyone she needed right there.
Related.
She had her
Relatable.
remaining living facts, right? Like, which I think is why, in a weird way, I wanted to put this in here. I was like, now hold on. I'm a lot like Sarah
Because you don't like
Winchester.
people doesn't mean
Yeah.
you're haunted by
I spend a lot of
ghosts.
time just alone in my home, just like
Yeah.
reading or like learning about things and
Yeah, if I
whatnot. And then I
had the
go
money,
out and
I'd do
hang out with people
construction on
every
my
now,
house.
but it's
Yeah.
like sometimes it is good to just like be a nerd in
Be
your home by
in.
yourself every
Yeah.
now and again. I was like, hold on, we shouldn't say horrible
Don't
things about
demonize
women just because
this.
they're intelligent and different and reclusive.
Yes.
But no. So yeah, I think she was just living life as best as she could. She wasn't hurting anybody. She was just
Yeah.
building this crazy, massive Victorian Gothic mansion over time as a way to kind of distract probably from all the grief and the trauma
From
of the
trauma.
past like 10 years of her life. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think that, yeah, because she was reclusive, because she kind of had some different beliefs and more
Right, it was
progressivist
progressive.
views, people painted her as some just like deranged, tormented woman who was interacting with ghosts or who was like being
Mm.
tortured by ghosts inside of this mansion. Purely because, again, she didn't want to talk to people, which, I mean, you're not doing yourself any favors when you are building something like this and you're not
Yeah.
going out
It's
and being
like
a part of the
letting people
community to
know.
be like,
Yeah.
exactly. So, I mean, like, Sarah B, maybe she could have been a
Let's
little
hire a PR
more
person.
exactly, but
You
she
got the
could have
money.
afforded, but oh well. But to this
Wow.
day now, the Winchester Mystery House, it's like a massive tourist site.
Hmm.
They do tours through it. I watched a couple of videos of people going through some parts of it,
Oh,
and it's
cool.
interesting. It looks cool. There's, like I said, there's a movie about it from 2018 that's interesting. And I think the very last thing I'll say too is that there's some misconceptions about Winchester, like as a gun manufacturer. Not that I'm
Mm.
here being like pro gun manufacturers in any way, but a lot of
Yeah.
people say that she was haunted by all of the spirits of people who died from Winchester guns because they think that
Yeah.
like Native Americans were killed with them or something like that, which may be true. I don't know.
Yeah.
But apparently, Winchesters were very expensive guns. So they weren't the type that would be purchased in bulk. So
Oh,
it's not like the
funny.
military would have been going out and buying Winchester guns to carry out like westward expansion
Interesting. Yeah.
tasks and whatnot. It was more so something that was used for like private security guards or like wealthy collectors
Oh,
or things like that. Maybe
interesting.
some robbers and stuff who had money bought use
Right, like
them and
people would
stuff. So
still
like
get guns,
people
but
definitely got killed by them, but it wasn't like they
like
were used to carry
the
out like ethnic
massacre
cleansing or
weapon.
anything
Yeah.
exactly like that. Like maybe a few were, but it wasn't like a state sanctioned sort of
Oh,
thing. So people
interesting.
definitely still died from the guns. Let's not get that twisted. But I think a lot
Yeah.
of people assume that, like, oh, because he was a gun manufacturer in the 1860s, like he must have had to do with this or that. And it's like, no, he dealt with enough bad stuff on his own. Like, we don't have to also impart that on him. So
Yeah.
just another thing,
Ooh,
which also kind of like blows the candle out on theories of like, oh, she's
yes.
tormented by all these
All
ghosts. It's
of the
like, no, I mean,
people.
she's just sad.
Right. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
had really hard life. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
well, one, that's I'm so glad you gave that rundown, and especially like the emphasis on
Hmm.
Sarah over everything else. And yeah, I'm
Hmm.
just reflecting on like, oh yeah, when I first heard about it, I had also heard, and this part may or may not be true, of like that she also wouldn't communicate to the different groups of builders. Like there was no grand plan. So like she would tell one builder to
Yeah.
do this in this side, and another builder would do this on this side, and they wouldn't know what each other are doing. So that also like both
Yes.
made things more complicated. But then, like someone working on that construction crew is going to get a beer after work in town and be like, I don't know what's going on around the corner. So people are probably, I think then it became the rumor of like, and
Yeah,
she's
it bubbles
purposely
over.
not keeping or like is
That's
purposely
true.
keeping
Yeah.
people apart. So of like, I'm sure a lot of those rumors came from like
Hiding something.
John, like
Yeah.
Joe Schmo just working his job because he has to be there
Such a
for
good
his
point.
job and just being like, oh yeah, here's one small comment that then the town is like, this rich, mysterious woman must be doing
Yeah.
weird things. So I bet
Something
like,
weird in there.
yeah, so I bet
Workers are
that's
leaving
how.
confused and like,
Yeah,
and yeah, like I think too, the part of her, again, this is like the 1800s. So like, did they really treat depression back then? Probably
yeah,
not. But like, I think part of her, not a doctor, obviously, but what I assume was part of her depression from all the trauma she was going
yeah.
through was that she literally would just like send her crews away for a few weeks. Like, all right, guys, sorry, like I need a break. Like,
Right, and
I
everyone
just
was
need
like,
some
oh
time.
my
Oh my God,
God.
she's just sending crews away unannounced for weeks on end and they're
Right.
confused. And like, yeah, so you just imagine if you're reclusive and hey, nothing against being reclusive, but don't be surprised when, people kind of start to speculate things about you. Not saying that they should speculate about you. They should just
Right.
ask or they should just like not
Or just like,
assume anything
that's
and
not
just
their
be like, just mind their
business.
fucking business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
But
spread like ghost
people are gonna
stories and
talk.
rumors of her being like an occult member or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
okay. Now, apparently she kind of was into some of that stuff, but like, so are we. So
Well,
what?
yeah.
Like, I mean,
What?
so
Yeah, you
like, it's
guys are listening to this
interesting.
podcast, so are
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, because like her family kind of had some Freemasonry ties growing up. So she was kind of like she had some interesting beliefs. But exactly, like
Yeah.
we talk about cryptids all the time. We talk about occult shit. Like
Yeah.
it's a free
It's
country. You're
fine.
allowed to be interested in that stuff, and you don't have to think that like ghosts are haunting this person just because they're
Yeah.
interested in like different subjects. So
Well, and it's interesting too about the
yeah.
Winchester like timeline in manufacturing because yeah, what I had again when like I first heard the story, it was like
Yeah.
presented as yeah, like she was so guilty from all the war that these
The
guns were
long
used
history
in
of,
that
yeah.
exactly like the wars that these were used in and thus all of that she was running from the ghosts and that's why it was a dead end because then the ghosts couldn't get to her like that was the like
Yeah.
vibe so of being like thousands of people which if it was still a new yeah what you said of like not to take away from the fact like people were obviously killed with these guns they're guns but the
Yeah, for
like
sure. For sure.
wars were fought just on these guns and all of the victims of the
Exactly.
wars came to this house is like what and up until you said that I
Popular
was still
culture
like
says. Yeah,
yeah like
yeah.
up until you said that I was like I assumed that's what
Yes,
Winchester was used for
same.
then
And I gotta say, I'm so glad that you mentioned that because literally up until I was writing the script, that's what I thought too.
yeah
Like
I was
I
like
was
oh
expecting to go into this episode saying like, oh yes, there's this creepy spooky haunted house in Sarah Winchester.
yeah
And then I started reading more and I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. I'm part of the problem.
right yeah like I knew like
Yeah,
Sarah
I
was
was
just
like, this
like
woman was probably
my
totally
life was
normal and fine,
hard
but like, yeah,
yeah
like I don't know, maybe there was a ghost or two in there. I don't
yeah
know,
and
maybe, but
like
like it's
it
been
is
blown out of
eccentric to like
proportion.
constantly be adding onto
Sure,
your house and like yeah you're clearly
absolutely.
dealing with something but
Something.
like
100%.
therapy and mental health care did not exist then so like
Exactly. So
yeah
like she wasn't hurting anybody.
yeah she's
Yeah, the
hyper
guns did
fixating
not
on this
hurt.
house situation and it's like we all
Right.
hyper fixate on something great
On something. And
she's
God,
got a lot
God
of
bless
money to
us
do
if it's
it
something non-violent like this,
yeah exactly
or like not even something that's not even self-destructive like
right
this.
yeah it's
Like
not
she
like
just,
making her bankrupt she
she's not
was
hurting
just like
herself or anyone.
yeah
Yeah.
giving
Yeah.
jobs to
So,
the community in fact
okay. And the last thing I
I
think
know
I'll
we
say
got
about
this
her,
long
because
I'm
there
so
were
sorry
I just learned so much about her.
it's
And now
so
I'm like, oh, she's such
fascinating
a. So, on top of that, speaking of like her not hurting anyone, she was actually actively trying to make the community better because she bought a lot of other property in the San Jose
oh
area
uh-huh
and some of it was beachfront. And her goal was actually to create a bunch of housing for people who wanted to visit California. Because obviously at that time in like the late
right yeah a lot
1800s,
of people
like
were
it
coming
was,
out
yeah, like if you're coming, you're probably going to be staying for a much longer time. And
yeah
it's way more like luxurious isn't the word I'm looking for. Um it's just way more of an adventure back in the 1800s to
Yeah,
visit from
yeah.
like Connecticut to California because they're,
Yeah.
it's like not
It's an
planes or anything. Like it's
endeavor.
a long, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So she wanted to build these houses and everything and like create community along there, but she died before any
Wow,
of that was able to
interesting.
happen. So yeah, again, I'm like, damn, like she literally was not hurting anyone. She was actively trying to help people because she probably
Yeah.
also for her from her own perspective was like, oh, California is saving me because not only of my rheumatoid arthritis, but
Right.
also because of like my depression, my sadness, like everything I've
Yeah.
lost. Like I just need a new environment. And she probably wanted other people to be able to have that opportunity
We're like have a
too, or to
fresh
like see
start.
how cool it was. Exactly. So,
Interesting. Wow.
no
I love
more
that.
Sarah Winchester slander coming from my mouth ever.
Shutting it down.
Done
Yes.
that shit down, but also want to
Wow, that
visit
was
San
great.
Jose. I've been to San Jose before, but I definitely want to go back now and
Yeah, I do want to go
visit
to the
that
house for
mansion
sure.
and take some
That'd be
tours.
so cool.
All of these cool places we keep talking about, sponsor us.
I know,
Get
just
me and Grace
send us out
tickets. We'll
for this
come visit.
tour. I just want to come
Yeah, we'll take
visit.
some girls' trips. We got to go to the Everglades. We
Yeah.
got to go to San
Yeah,
Jose.
Everglades. Hey, let's
Take
do
us
it.
up to, where was it, like the Tibetan mountains so we can see a Yeti or something? I don't
Exactly.
know.
Just anywhere.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so
So
fascinating.
anyways, now back to the Magic School Bus, though, which again maybe has more parallels with this episode than
I'll
I
say, damn,
initially
now I'm gonna
thought.
stop shit talking whatever her name
Cornelia,
was. Cornelia, yeah.
exactly. So, yes, the kids, they're all hiding under the sheets in this room that's been nicely made up for them, trying to fall asleep, but obviously not able to because it's so scary. I think it's like still storming and there's lightning and
Mm.
thunder outside. And Carlos, he's unable to sleep more than the rest of the students because he is also worried about his instrument still sounding like crap.
Yeah.
So he's like trying to kind of mess with it while everyone else is trying to sleep. And they're telling him, like, Carlos, not now, man. Like, that thing
Yeah.
sounds bad,
It
even
sounds
when we're
bad. Give
trying to
up.
stay awake. Like, just let us sleep, please.
Yeah.
And at this point, again, he just like throws his instrument down and he kind of like calls out to the ghost of Professor Cornelia. You heard that right.
Carlos, you've done enough. You've done
You've
enough.
done too much.
You called to the gods to help you in the first place.
Mhm.
You've done too much.
You've done too much. And you're right. He has. Because shortly after this, they start to hear that enchanting siren, mesmerizing sound again
Uh,
coming from down the halls. And Carlos, he springs out of bed again to chase after it, which
no.
he is now calling the Call of Cornelia, which sounds like the name of a horror movie in and of
Yeah, I
itself,
hate
or
that.
like of a metal band or something like that.
Oh,
One of the
both
two.
good. Both good.
Yeah, yeah. So his classmates just like they roll their eyes and they're like, fuck, all right, let's go get him. So they all get out of
They're like,
bed.
he's gonna die out there.
He's gonna get right. Like we
For
have to
sure.
save him from dying, or we at least all have to die together.
Yeah, yeah.
And or we can't let him run into the frizz who told us to stay in bed and like get some rest
Yes, and
tonight.
get
We
in
don't want to get in
trouble.
trouble. So they chase after him and they're all running towards the sound down these long, winding, almost maze-like hallways in this
Uh-huh.
massive mansion. And they notice the sound getting louder and louder and louder until it just out of nowhere completely stops.
Okay.
And so the kids now they're like realizing, oh shit, we're like way deep in this mansion now, and they have to like recalibrate for a
Oh
moment.
no, how do we get back? Okay. Dead ends.
But they then start to hear a yodeling noise. Like
That's less of a
yodeling.
siren to me. I don't know if I would be
Yeah, it's still
drawn to
creepy
that.
though. But they are for whatever reason, particularly
Okay.
Carlos. Again, he's our sound obsessed kid today.
Uh-huh.
So they slowly walk towards the door of the room that seems to have the yodeling coming from it.
Mhm.
They open this door and they see an entire jungle inside,
Jungle.
a jungle where they hear like monkeys and birds and insects all loudly making their various calls. Like
Okay.
they see a bunch of trees and everything and like hanging vines and stuff like that, like a
Okay.
full on thick jungle. And so they keep, again, mystery rooms, random rooms that are
Yeah.
much bigger than you would
I'm
expect them
so
to be by the
confused.
size
Okay.
of the door and just the how, like
Yeah.
a very weird house. So they keep walking through this jungle room, and then they quickly see themselves stumble onto what seems to be a beach. and we see
Okay.
waves crashing into the sand, into the beach and
So
everything.
this is
And
like a
we
shared
hear the
delusion
waters,
of these children.
mass psychosis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
A folly
Folly
eight or
do.
whatever.
Yeah, on a mass
Yeah.
scale.
And so, yeah, we like hear the water of the ocean like crashing and sloshing around behind
Hmm.
them. And they keep walking along this beach. And then they find themselves on a city street filled with like heavy construction.
Okay.
And we hear jackhammers and construction equipment and cars moving by. Again, all these sounds, the various sounds that these
Yeah.
kids are experiencing, depending on the environment they're in.
Mm.
And honestly, so I will say I did have flashbacks to some museums in Cincinnati, like that I went to growing up or when
Oh,
I was
uh-huh.
like babysitting kids that I would take kids to and stuff that were like, they had full rooms that were themed to a specific
Like the
geographic,
Cincinnati
like
Museum, the like
landscape,
Arctic
like
Museum
Union
with the saber-toothed
Terminal.
tigers. Yeah.
Exactly, like that one. Yeah, there was like a cave in there exhibit
Yep.
one year.
Loved
There's
the
a
cave
museum in
one.
Sharonville at like the whatever park it is in Sharon Woods at that park that also has like a full jungle themed room in it
Yes.
too that I remember going to sometimes. I was like, okay, I see this, but also
Yeah.
this museum is clearly doing very well. Like the donors
Yeah,
are
say this
donating
lady
and they're
got
coming from
some
high places.
money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, though, of like, because I was looking at it from the perspective of being like, this is their first time at the museum. Like, all they know is that like this eccentric lady has a museum that has ghosts, and you're now just walking through different scenes. Like, again,
Hmm.
this would be cool if I chose to be there. Because
Yes.
again, I've been to museums
But
similar
against
and
my
like they're
will.
so fun and amazing. But yes,
Yeah, I don't want to
lost
be
and
anywhere
confused.
against my will.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Even the happiest place on earth. Like, I don't want to be
Yeah,
there
I
against
want
my
my
will,
free
though.
will always intact and
Yeah,
upheld. Thank you.
always. So, anywho, you're going through all these rooms. And as they're in the like city room or whatever, they
Uh-huh.
again hear that yodeling sound echoing in the distance. And they continue to walk through this city and they quickly find themselves in like a snowy, mountainous, alpine terrain.
Okay.
And they're at like the top of a mountain or like on a cliff almost, like a snow-covered cliff.
Uh-huh.
And the yodeling continues as the kids are like looking around like who
Right.
is
Also, we're up
yodeling?
top. We
Where?
can see everything.
Yeah, right. Like this is
Yeah.
weird. Also, there's a city right behind us. Like you can still see the
What's
buildings from the
happening?
city and it like slowly transitions to ice and like they're on a cliff out of
Oh,
nowhere.
okay.
And the kids are then scared to death and absolutely alarmed when Liz, out of nowhere, quickly scurries in front of them. Just like,
Nice.
which if it wasn't Liz, if it was any other animal or like lizard, that would be like,
Anything.
no, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm already on
And they
edge.
jump from that for a second, and then we see a grappling hook thrown up onto the ground at the edge of the cliff in front of them.
Okay.
And of course, it's the Frizz, just going for, as she describes, her evening climb and yodel that she usually does to
Oh,
get
so
ready
she was
for
a
bed.
yodeler.
She was the yodeler, which you
Okay.
can, when you watch it, you can immediately tell it's her because it's
Oh,
obviously
okay.
in her voice. Yeah, but it's Halloween thriller. I had to
Yeah,
keep you on the edge of
Mystique.
your seat.
Yes. Okay.
So
Her evening
she
yodel.
apologizes. She apologizes to the class for waking them up with her nightly activities. But just as the kids calm down again, knowing that it's just their teacher,
Uh-huh.
they are again shooketh by the call of Cornelia. They hear it coming from some other hallway
Okay.
nearby. So Carlos asks the Frizz how they can get out of this room to find the sound. And the Frizz leads them out to the next
My
room
God.
where we see in like my dream scenario, again, if it was not against my will, or as you know,
This is the
assuming it's
best
not
day of your
against
life.
my will,
Uh-huh.
it is a room filled with giant instruments. Like at
Like
first, I thought the Frizz shrunk the
shrunk
kids
them?
down.
Okay. Or like
And
you
I was
thought they
like,
shrunk
oh,
them because they're so
cool.
big.
Exactly. But
Okay.
no, they're regular size and the instruments are just like a
Huge.
harp that's like floor to ceiling. And why this is so cool
Oh.
is because then you can like pluck the string of the harp
And like,
and you can see how fast it's like
okay, that's
vibrating or
pretty
waving
cool.
around. Yeah. And there's all sorts of instruments in there, like drums, guitars, just everything, cymbals,
Yeah.
all types of stuff. And so these kids in the Frizz, obviously, they're moving through the room and they're getting, and I guess anyone who comes to this museum, it
Yeah.
allows people to get a better understanding of the way sound works, the way sound
Mm.
travels, the way sound is made. And
Yeah.
again, it's just donor money is on point here.
I
Like this
mean, the fact the room alone that you
impressive.
originally described was insane. And
Yeah.
now custom made instruments to this extent. Yeah,
Yes.
someone, some
Yeah.
billionaires are funding this for sure, at least one.
Absolutely funding this. Yes. So they're going through this room, and the Frizz is explaining to the group that vibration is the key to sound, as demonstrated
Mm.
by the harp and whatnot, and the cymbal and the drum in the room. And so seeing all of this makes Carlos realize that he has to figure out a way to make some part of his instrument vibrate to elicit
Ah,
a sound.
yes.
So they go to the next room of the museum. Again, the Frizz. I think she is a
She's been
docent
here.
here part time on the
Yeah.
weekends. She's like in next
She
room in
knows
the
it.
exhibit.
Yeah. And no, not to the right, to the left first, please.
This
Go
way,
to the
kids.
left.
This way. Does everyone have their worksheets out?
Yeah.
So they go to the next room where the Frizz gives each of her students these really cool glasses, almost like we were talking about before, those
What
X-ray
is
goggles
it?
or those cool like ghost checking
Yeah.
spectacles that allow them to see sound. AKA,
Mm.
when you put the glasses on, you can like see sound waves traveling through space or like
Yeah.
through air. And just like as a fun note to any adults that watch this show or that are listening to this
Uh-huh.
podcast now, but adults watching Magic School Bus with their kids, they probably felt like I did in this moment where Carlos puts on these glasses and we like see the sound waves moving through the air as people are talking. And he's just like, whoa, I can see sound. And it like echoes into the room. And I just really feel like at that moment, like I Don't Live Today or Third Stone from the Sun or something from Are You Experienced by the Jimi Hendrix Experience
Yes,
should
so
have
it's just
started
playing.
playing. Like as we see
Whoa,
the sound
man, I
waves
can
like
see the
rippling.
color of sound.
Yeah. Whoa.
I'm
It's like the
also
way that he
picturing it.
echoes the whoa.
I'm also
Yeah.
picturing it as like the old like iTunes visualizers that you could turn on.
Yes.
Like that's the like
Which is the dancing silhouette or whatever.
uh-huh. Oh my God,
Or yeah, just
amazing.
like the background, like
Yeah, like the
whatever weird
waves moving all
motion moving
crazy. Yeah, the
over.
motions.
Yeah. Basically,
I can
this
see
was almost
sound.
certainly the inspiration. Yeah.
Amazing.
I was like, damn, Carlos, that's pretty new age of
It's
you.
pretty
Good for
deep.
you, man. It's just the way he said it was so funny and the way it echoes of like, wow, where or like some song. There was just some song in particular. I was expecting some guitar riff to immediately
Yeah, just
start.
a super like
Just like,
psychedelic guitar riff to
yeah.
start. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, now that the kids can see these sound waves, they realize that the different sounds have different types of waves. So, for
Mm,
example, higher pitched sounds have faster moving waves and they're like
mm,
closer together, meaning that something is vibrating faster to create that
mm,
sound. And lower pitched sounds have slower moving and more spread apart waves, meaning that something is vibrating slower.
mm,
And then they learn that when you stop the vibration, you stop the sound and thus its waves altogether.
mm.
So Carlos is like piecing all of this information together. And he's finally like, oh my God, I got it. It literally does not matter how my instrument looks at all. That has nothing to do with any of this.
Finally.
Yeah, the Frizz is like, Jesus,
This is like an episode of like
I've been
Scared
trying all
Straight where
week.
it's like they had to scare him to have him realize like the path he was on
Frizz is
wasn't
like,
the
I gotta
right
put
one.
fear in you. Yeah. Yeah. And the Frizz is the warden. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, she locked him in there.
Yeah, against their will.
Yep.
So Carlos, he's super excited now to go back to their room, to get his instrument, start taking some of this random shit off of it,
Yeah.
making the proper adjustments, and to make this thing actually sound like a musical instrument of some
Sound
sort
good.
rather than like a whoopee cushion. So he goes back to the room, but he's shocked when he sees that his abomination of an instrument is gone. Someone took it. It's gone.
Is everyone
Missing.
accounted for?
Everyone is accounted for. Right?
The whole time?
Like, is everyone here? The whole
Yeah,
time?
huh? Have you been
Everyone's
watching this
together?
episode
It's
making
like, let
sure
me see
everyone was in
hands.
the room every scene?
Yeah. We got to go back and double check things.
Supposed to
Yep.
be like the
No.
ending of Clue. They have to like run through all
Yeah.
the scenarios.
Yeah, there's different option for now. If Arnold took it, this is what happened.
Yeah.
Now, if Phoebe took it,
You
this
took
is what
it.
happened. So, no, as far as we can tell, everyone has been accounted for. I guess other than the Frizz, but like she was too busy
She's yodeling.
yodeling and exactly climbing. So I think we can count her out. Everyone was
Yeah.
there. So at this point, Ralphie is starting to think like, well, first a ghost comes and takes the instrument. Does that mean that a ghost is going to come and take each of us one by one
Ralphie!
next? Yeah, like
Ralphie is
fucked
a
up, bro. What's
spiraler.
wrong with you?
Ralphie goes 0 to 60.
Dorothy Ann and Wanda are probably looking at Ralphie like, do not bring your panic trauma into our lives. Right? Like, you keep that shit over there.
You
We're
keep
doing
that
just
quiet. Okay. Yeah, I
that
was
to
gonna go to
yourself.
sleep, and now I'm absolutely gonna be up all night, fucking
fine. Yeah.
terrified.
Like, unlike the rest of y'all, because Wanda's like the freaking hothead, like wild child,
Yeah.
adventurous one. She's probably like, I was literally asleep. You guys woke me
Yeah.
up when you were running out of the room. Like,
Yeah,
don't bring all
and
this
now
into my
this
mind.
shit, I'm ready to fight it. Wanda's gonna fight a ghost tonight. That's what
She's
she's
ready to.
thinking.
She's got her fists are like clenched by her side as she's
Yeah.
walking through this place, like ready to
Hey, fuck
strike at
that
any
ghost
minute.
up.
But Grace, oh man, it gets so much worse. Because just as they're starting to question who could have taken this
This is also how they
instrument, quote
turn on each
unquote,
other in our horror movie
and
version.
it turns back to the thing.
Yeah,
Nobody
exactly.
trusts anybody. One of you is
Rightfully,
a ghost in disguise. Yes.
probably.
So they start to search around the room for the instrument, but seemingly out of nowhere, because I don't think a window is open, but maybe I missed it and one is. A
Uh-huh.
cool breeze starts to move through the room, a strong one, because it blows out all of the candles in the room that were lighting up the area for them.
There was no electricity in this. This whole time it was by candlelight.
They're conserving, okay?
Oh no! That just gave it a whole new ambiance of terror in
I
this
feel like to be
episode.
fair, I feel like it's not super consistent. There are points where it's definitely shit's lit up by normal lighting,
Okay,
it looks
but their
like, but like
rooms, the
we see a
children's
lot of
room.
candelabras and stuff. Yeah.
All right now.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah,
Miss Frizz,
I was
I'm
never
walking
in.
home.
I was
Yeah,
never
I
even
was
in that
never
building.
in. I'm still in the school bus, actually.
Yeah,
I'm like all
exactly.
tucked in. I'm already asleep because no one's
I'm
bothering me in here.
snoozing.
Yeah, I got my sweatshirt on over me and
Yeah, I'm
whatnot. I'm
curled up.
cool.
We
But
slept on bus floors
right,
before. We can do it
I know we're used to it. Oh
so many
man,
times.
which God, that makes us sound so freaking degenerate, but it's true.
We slept on a lot of
But it's
bus
also
floors.
like the way we slept on bus floors was very not degenerate in the
Yes.
grand scheme of things, but like just it happened,
Yeah,
okay?
it happened. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. So, anyways, after all these candles were blown out, sadly, scarily, once again, we hear the call of Cornelia, fill the air, that melodic,
Cornelius call.
enchanting, orchestral, echoing sound. This time, it's not coming from the hallway or it's not coming from down the hall.
Okay.
This time, the sound appears to be coming from inside a closet in the very room that they are
They're
in,
in?
Grace.
The call is literally coming
Their
from
room.
inside, not the house, the room.
Inside the room, not just the house, even worse, the
Get out
very
of that
room that
room.
you're staying in.
Get
Run.
out of that room.
That's what normal people would say. But guess what? Carlos is
Did you get
apparently
right to
not
it?
normal because he runs to the door and
Carlos
opens
is
it. Like, I think it's coming from here.
enchanted.
It's like it's got this hold on him, which again, very
Give this
horror
man
movie coded.
earphones. Give him some like
Something,
earplugs.
anything. I mean, like this, it's just drawing him in. Like he's frantically chasing after this sound the entire episode. Like, I gotta find it. The
Oh
call. I gotta find it.
no.
It's here. It's there. Like you can kind of see his descent into less than sanity.
Ralphie's just like, I told you.
I told you
Ralphie's like,
guys.
I knew shit was gonna go wrong.
And so first we see this metaphorical descent into insanity, and then we see a literal descent when he opens the closet door, runs in to chase the sound, and just
Uh-huh.
falls down a black hole.
Bye. I guess we shut that door.
Bye. All right, bye, Carlos. Shut lock. So,
All right.
Frizz, is the bus ready? Can
Yeah,
we go?
so can we crawl out a window or something? Because this
Good to
kid's gone.
go? this is gone. We're not, we'll tell his family that his
Yeah,
last words were,
someone
I
else can
love
come
you. We'll
look
make him
for
feel
him.
good. Yeah.
Someone can go spelunking to go find this kid because it ain't us.
Oh God, don't mention it. Ooh, ooh.
You just down a hole. I assumed there was a cave down there. Now
Oh
we're in the
God.
descent, as
Yes,
always.
there
We always end
is
up
a
back here.
cave. Man, I wonder if we had $1 for every time we brought up the descent on this
We could
podcast,
at
we'd be
least rent the
rolling
descent
in
on
money.
YouTube
Yeah.
of how many times
Oh,
we've
I
mentioned
I
it.
have it on DVD. I
Of
don't need
course
to
you
rent
do.
it.
Of
Of course
course you
I
do.
do. Yeah. So the class, it's all for one, one for all. So no, they don't pack up and
Mm,
leave. Unfortunately, they all go to this closet and they peek their heads over more carefully than Carlos did. They don't just
good.
run in. They peek their heads in and they shout down and ask Carlos if he's okay. And he is, because thankfully, maybe thankfully, actually, I don't know. He landed on a big pile of hay that's at the bottom of this hole, like directly where someone would expect someone to fall. It's
So
very
now this
Buffalo
is
Bill,
Silence of
Silence of
the
the
Lambs.
Lambs coded. Yeah. I don't love
All of a
it, but
sudden,
like
someone's
at least
lowering a little basket.
a
What's this
basket.
basket here on the side? Carlos, we'll send you down a flashlight. I don't know what this basket's for, though.
I don't know what the basket's for, but here, put it in the
Weird. Here you
basket.
go.
Yeah. So Carlos is like, no, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. But he looks around and notices that, yeah, he's in this massive underground dungeon that looks again to be primed for people to fall into.
Yeah.
And so, seeing that he's okay, the Frizz and all the students, one by one, jump down after him, knowing that they're going to have a smooth landing. I'm not saying it's wise. I'm just saying what they do.
No one will survive this. This is a horror movie. These
And this,
choices, horror movie's
no,
over by now because they're all dead. Like,
long over, long over.
oh my
And so
God.
this is where I want you to unpin something that you said earlier.
Oh, okay.
Because, and actually, I'm sorry, this happens right before the rest of the students jump down. Once Carlos shouts up to them, like, I'm okay, guys, it's all right. Arnold, who would probably be the only one to actually survive a horror movie, he
Yes.
hilariously is like, well, if they torture you down there, don't tell them anything. I'll learn how to be a lawyer and we'll meet you back here when we're grown ups.
Also, Arnold's saying this as he's climbing out the window. He busted it open. He's getting the fuck out.
He's gone. Yeah. Like he's not saying this like down the abyss. He's saying this as he's running away. He's
I'll come back when I'm grown
I'll
up.
come back
Bye.
later. Yeah. I'll come
So
back one
funny.
day later.
Don't say anything.
Yeah. If they torture you, he said, don't
Graham.
tell them anything. Who's they, Arnold? What
Plead
the hell?
the
Yeah. I'll be back for you when we're older.
Oh
And
my
again,
God.
just him saying, I'll learn how to be a lawyer, which is also funny because we saw him actively being a lawyer in that one episode I did.
Isn't
So
it
it's
in
like
like
repeating
it where
theory.
like the trauma happens when they're kids and then in like the recent
Yes.
movies they come back as adults?
Yeah. Well,
That's what's happening
that's
here.
like the like in the other miniseries too with Tim Curry. It's like yeah,
Oh
the
yeah, it's
same
like the
thing.
same.
It's
Okay.
like yeah, something
They
tortures
come
them as
back.
kids. And I think it's like 20 or 30 years later, every 20 years, the
Yeah, yeah.
demon resurrects itself or whatever
That's what's
and like
happening here.
starts torturing them. Yeah, that's
This
literally
is the initial
this
point
is it.
pinpoint.
Yeah.
See you guys in 20 years.
This is it. Literally, this is
Yeah.
it.
This is it. All caps.
So, which also isn't that a Michael Jackson album? Sorry, because then I just imagine him like the cover of that album, but with Pennywise instead of
No.
like
No, I don't like it. I don't want
maybe.
it.
Okay, sorry.
Scary.
Oh man. So yeah, like I said, after this, the Frizz is like, "Shut up, Arnold. You know we're gonna go down there and save him."
Get your
So
ass down there, Arnold.
exactly, they all go down one by one. They
Mm.
follow him into the abyss, and then they start making their way through this ridiculously creepy dungeon down here. So, of course, not long after they get down there, they hear again the call of Cornelia and they put their glasses back on and they see the
Mm.
sound waves bouncing off the walls of the dungeon, giving them an opportunity to actually follow the sound and trace where it's
Get
coming
closer to
from,
it.
like
Great.
little sonar radars or
Yeah.
like echolocation. Yeah. So eventually they find the source and it happens to be coming from behind an old creaky wooden door deep down in this dark, disgusting dungeon. And they slowly open this
They're gonna open
door.
that door. They're gonna open that door. Okay.
Of course, they're going to open that door. Guarantee you it was Carlos, too. I didn't even have to write it
Yeah.
here. It probably was
Yeah.
Carlos. Slowly open that door, and they see someone playing a giant organ.
I'm sorry, someone is down there?
Someone's down there. There's someone here. They're not in this house alone. There's
been someone here this
other
entire
person.
time.
This entire time.
I
hiding in
hate
the
that.
dungeon.
Okay. Well, fuck that. I'm shutting that
Making
door.
this sound. Yeah.
Again, I'm not even in the dungeon, but if I am, I'm slamming that door again. I'm saying sorry as I slam the door and climb my way back up those walls to
Yes.
get to that closet and run
To
away.
safety.
Okay.
Yes. So they open that door, and the person playing the organ, of course, that is creating this call of Cornelia, the siren sound, immediately stands up, turns around to face the class, and who we see appears to be a almost near spitting image of the Professor Cornelia Contralto, older woman with like very graying hair pulled back into a bun and a very nice, elegant, almost like suit on of sorts. And in a very theatric sing-song voice, she introduces herself to the students as Professor Cornelia C. Contralto the second.
The second, okay.
AKA, I believe it's the great-granddaughter. Okay. Yes, the great-granddaughter of the Professor Cornelia C. Contralto who built this house.
Okay.
And yet again, before we talk more about this person, I just got to say, because we got a guest star here, we got a voice actress coming in here. Now, I'm familiar with this person's name, but not so much with their work. But she still is just like a legend, which again, evidence of the Magic School Bus pulling all the strings and getting another goat in the studio, probably just because like Lily Tomlin, she's like, yeah, I know everybody. Come on in.
Yeah.
Professor Cornelia C. Contralto II is voiced by Carol Channing, which is funny because also CC nickname or initials.
CC the initials. Oh, right? Yeah, like
yes.
Icon. I've only ever also like seen like clips, but like
because she did a lot of sketch comedy.
Yeah,
or she appeared on like sketch comedy. So I feel like
woman in comedy. Like,
yes.
Trailblazer. That's the word I'm looking for.
Trailblazer. Yes. Like honestly, perfect way to put it. So Carol Channing, she was an actress, comedian, singer, and dancer who, so while she was great in comedy, she also is mostly known actually for starring in Broadway musicals like Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, which came out in 1949 and was later adapted into the 1953 movie starring Marilyn Monroe. And was known for songs like Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. That's where that came from. So Carol Channing originated her role in that on Broadway. She was also in Hello, Dolly in 1964, which won her a Tony Award for Best Actress in a Musical.
I think she also has a really if you hear, I bet if like you heard her voice acting, you
very
like,
distinctive voice.
It's like, distinctive voice.
Yes. And then she got a second Tony Award for Best Actress in a Musical in 1974 for appearing in Lorelei. In film, she also was a Golden Globe winner, and she was nominated for an Academy Award. And some of her bigger TV roles, at least that we might be familiar with as people who are just very young in the grand scheme of things, is like she was Grandma Addams in the 1992 Addams Family Show. And she was the White Queen in an Alice in Wonderland TV like mini-series or like mini-film or whatever in 1985. So... yeah, but like you said, when you hear her voice, you're like, whoa, I feel like I recognize that from seeing random clips of like an older woman doing comedy sketches and stuff. But the most important thing about her, or the most notable and impressive, is not just this appearance on Magic School Bus, but also that she voiced a character in 2 episodes of Chippendale Rescue Rangers. I don't think we've done the episodes, but her name is apparently Kanina LaFleur. So... I'm very intrigued to know. She sounds like she's getting up to no good.
Yes. Okay, we gotta do another arc of that just to find those episodes.
And we'll find it. Or hopefully maybe it has something to do with October, November, or December, and it can be a holiday episode.
Wow, that's incredible.
So icon status, again, just showing up and like not even for that many lines. Like this is the first time we hear her speaking. And this is the very end of the episode. So I was like, damn, like
Wow.
if someone as important as Carol Channing is willing to come in and do like 30 seconds of line reading
Right,
for
like
you,
this is an
like
important show.
you mean
This is
something.
yeah, exactly.
This is
Wow, that's
meaningful.
so cool.
Yes. So, like I said, Cornelia the Second is the great granddaughter of the late great professor who built this
Mm,
mansion, and Cornelia the Second has now inherited the mansion and basically is
okay.
now the one in charge of this museum. And
Mhm.
she continues all of the hard work and research that her great grandmother was doing. And she continues all the studies that her grandmother was doing, trying to
Yeah,
teach the world about sounds, how they're created, how to collect them, etc.
cool.
So she tells the students that she's excited for their concert tomorrow and
Mhm.
asks Carlos if he's ready to make his instrument ready for, or ready to make his instrument sound ready for the big show.
Okay. She has a lot
And
of
she
information about
rolls
them.
she what okay, I'm so glad you said that because at this point, Carlos and like a couple other students look at her like, how did you know about the
Yeah.
instrument? And
Yeah.
Arnold and the Frizz look at each other like, well, you ask questions, you get answers. So I think Arnold was even in on this in some way. I think the
Arnold.
Frizz is like feeding Arnold information in some way, or he's on to her at least.
I
Like
think he's on
he's
to
picked
her.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because Arnold's like, yeah, see, I know that you had to do with this Frizz. I know you did
yeah, he's
this.
got his
He's
eyes on
like
her
looking
for
at her.
sure. He's checking those
Hmm.
liability waivers, the permission slips.
Our
He's
little
keeping his
lawyer.
eye on her. Sharp. Okay.
Our little lawyer. So, yes, Carlos immediately, once Cornelia the second hands him back his instrument, which again,
Mhm.
proving that she's the one who took it, which she was like
Yes.
rummaging through the kids' rooms when they were out in
Oh,
anyways,
yeah,
whatever.
great. Yeah, nope, she was. She absolutely was. Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah,
There's
it
no
comes from a good
maybe.
place, I
She
guess.
went and got that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Like, it's kind of weird, but whatever. Now we
Yeah,
know that
this
she's like
all
their
of this
teacher,
is
kind
weird.
of. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not the way people normally visit museums or perform at
No.
museums. Nothing about this is normal.
No.
So Carlos immediately starts taking a whole bunch of stuff off of this thing, remembering that all he needs to do is make this instrument vibrate in some way so that it can make a relatively pleasant sound.
Mhm.
So at this point, Professor Contralto and the Frizz, they kind of like look at each other and start to celebrate, like, he's got
We did
it.
it. I was gonna
They
say this
did
professor's
it.
absolutely a witch too. When you started describing her with her white hair and stuff, I was like, fellow witch.
She's a witch. She does. It's actually kind of funny. Like, was that, were we talking about, that was last week. Sorry. I was trying to, or last week of our episode, like,
Uh-huh.
AKA the last episode you just did. I was like, did we talk about that on recording or off? How I mentioned the show that Aubrey Plaza's in, the
Oh yeah,
Marvel
yeah, yeah.
show.
About witches, yeah.
Yes, the woman in this Cornelia the Second literally looks like a version of the main witch in that
Oh,
show
funny.
from the
Okay.
comic. So it's actually
So
really funny
yes.
that you just said that. Like she's kind of got like a pendant and like neck frills and everything, and like a nice
Witch.
purple, I think, suit coat on, which I feel
Nice and
like is very a witch coded
witchy.
color. So, anyways,
Amazing.
yes, the next day we see the students all in matching suits. It's so adorable. They're like
Oh
teal suit coats with like bow ties, all
my
of them,
God.
like girls
Cute.
and boys. It's so adorable. And they are masterfully, again, giving this performance of William
Okay.
Tell Overture, the finale. And
Uh-huh.
Carlos, he eventually gets his big solo and he nails it.
Sounds
Because,
good. Good.
it doesn't sound like the Call of Cornelia, which, like I said, was the sound he was chasing after this whole time.
Uh-huh.
So he didn't get his instrument to sound like that. But I would say it kind of sounds like a harp and a triangle mixed together. Like
Okay.
imagine if someone playing a harp had like little bells on their fingers too that were like ringing
Oh,
as they were
oh,
plucking. It's kind of
interesting.
nice. It works.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty pleasant.
Like that description.
It's pleasant enough. And the crowd
Yeah.
loves it. They give a massive round of applause, and
Mm.
Professor Cornelia asks Carlos if he'd be all right if she could now take that instrument and that wonderful sound that he's created and add it to her grandmother's collection, which Carlos, of course, allows, as he says that he wouldn't have it without her, anyways. Like, without you, the
True.
sound
You
wouldn't
basically
exist.
made it.
So he
Yep.
gives it to Cornelia, and the professor and the Frizz, they celebrate by doing a nice little jaunty duet to close out the show and thus
Wow.
end the main part of the episode.
Wow.
Mhm. And then we get the ask the produce. Oh,
Okay.
what?
No, no, I'll wait
Yeah.
till after the producer to
Okay.
give my thoughts.
It's quick, we don't really get a producer per se that shows up. Instead, we just hear
Mm,
like an echoey, ethereal voice again of Carol
mm,
Channing, aka
mm,
Professor Contralto, answering a
mm,
phone call from a desk, presumably sitting in an office chair. Like
uh-huh.
we can't see this person, but we see the back of the chair and the phone like line extending towards the chair.
Okay.
And of course, a well actually kid calls in saying, like, well, what's vibrating when sound happens? Or like, what about ears and hearing aids and the way people
Uh-huh.
can hear differently in all of this? And so the voice is responding, to all these questions and everything. And then
Hmm.
the little girl on the other line questions, like, and what about that ghost? We all know ghosts don't exist.
Who's in the
That's
chair?
crazy.
Who's in the chair? What's
What?
in the box?
In the what's in the box?
Who's in the
But
chair?
in the end, actually, I just realized that that reference could go either way. You were probably making the Dune reference, and I was making the
No, I was
Seven
making the
reference.
Seven
You were making the
reference.
Seven. Okay,
Yeah,
never
yeah,
mind. Got it.
yeah.
Okay,
Because
got
it's a
it.
scary movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
we're in
in the
Halloween.
box? So, yes, at this point, we see the chair in the producer's office turn around, revealing no one at all.
Nope.
Just a floating, levitating
Just
phone
phone?
in the air by itself. And the evil laugh of Cornelia fills the air,
Oh
assuring
God,
us
evil
that
laugh.
ghosts do. Oh, yeah, it's not a friendly laugh.
Oh
It's
no.
it's definitely got some mischief behind it.
Oh
Like,
no.
and she's in
Okay.
the producer's office. I don't like the way this is
I don't
going.
like how she got out
Yeah,
of the house
Liz,
somehow.
watch out. Yeah. Yeah, and like far away from the house too. But yeah, and that's the end.
Oh my God. Wow. That was incredible.
A
Um,
journey.
yeah, they really could have taught the kids this lesson in a lot, in about 300,000 different ways than this,
Yeah,
than
minimum.
this one.
Minimum.
Yeah, at the
N-
very least.
None of which involving like kidnapping, I guess, in a way.
Kidnapping, a torture dungeon,
Hmm.
turning on each other. But also, again, if I was there of my own free will and volition, would love
Cool.
to go to this museum. But what is that dungeon for? But
Yeah,
what?
a great question.
But what
I,
is that part of this? That's not open to the public, I assume. What's going
mhm.
down there?
I'm
What's
going
this?
to I'll kind of, be reasonable to Cornelia and them here. Maybe it's just for the organ. Like maybe the pipes are so tall that they have to put it underground because it's too tall. Like the pipes coming out of the organ are too tall to fit in the building, that it has to be underground.
Sarah
But
Winchester
yeah,
built a 7-foot tower on top of the house. You couldn't build a
exactly.
tower?
Anything's
You built a
possible.
mountain in your
Anything's
house. You can build a
possible.
tower and reroute that.
Exactly. Hey,
You need a
again,
dungeon. That's just spooky.
that's just weird. That's
That's
just
just
messed up. And
spooky.
the pile of hay, it's like, so is the only way to get to this dungeon by
By
jumping
falling?
down that? Yeah. Is there not
Yeah.
just a staircase and like a door, like any normal
Professor, you look like you're
dungeon?
getting old. You can't be jumping down there no more.
Yeah,
What's
right?
going on? Wow. That's
So,
traumatizing for those children.
yeah, in many ways, which is
Yeah,
why
but great
it,
job.
fits, other than it being a Halloween episode, it's why it fits right on into our October arc. And,
Yes,
we
it
knew that
certainly
the Magic
does.
School Bus could get super weird and could go some strange places, but I think this is
This is,
one of, not the, it's not the strangest place,
yeah.
surprisingly, but one
Is
of the
that
strangest places
maybe
they've
it's not the
gone.
strangest place, but it's the strangest presentation of a place.
Yeah,
You know,
that's fair.
it's
Yeah.
a cool museum.
Yeah.
Why do we
You
have to
could have
go like
just
this?
said, exactly.
Just
Like
kind of
you could have
museum.
just said, we're going to the Sound Museum, we're going to spend the night there and then perform there first thing in the
Yeah,
morning. You didn't have to make the
spook
kids
them,
think that they literally were running for their lives,
which they may have been. Yes, I'm
They
not.
were, yeah,
Yeah,
to
we
their
saw that
knowledge.
ghost. We saw that ghost is there.
So
Wow, great job. That was very fun.
thank you. Thank you.
Great
Thank you.
work.
So I think, I don't know, do we have another Halloween episode?
I
Did we
think
ever
so. I
figure
think
that
we
out?
decided to do
I feel like
November
we
1st
do.
as Halloween because it's Halloween
Maybe.
weekend. I think it's because it's on
Okay.
a Friday. I decided Halloween's
That's
on a Friday
right.
this year. So I was like, well, I'm extending
Okay.
it to Halloween weekend.
Cool. Cool. Good. So we don't have
decision I made.
We don't have to fret about finding nebulous fall and Thanksgiving.
Exactly. I think that was part of it too. I was like,
to our current knowledge.
Halloween weekend. Great.
Yes.
One more. Yeah, I cheated for that for sure.
Cool. So, and I'm here for it.
Great.
So until then, when we do what we believe is our last Halloween episode between now and then, Grace, who should the people listening and watching tell about this show?
I think you gotta tell a musician. I think you gotta tell someone, a musician. Nice. I think just of any sort. I won't specify who it is. But as I'm so sorry, I started talking so slowly because as I said that, I was like, wow, we've fucked up this episode in the sense of not having our chance to sing Ghostbusters because there was a ghost and this was about music and it's the greatest Halloween song. But it makes me feel good. I'm afraid no ghosts. Anyways, okay, sorry. That thought came to me as I was speaking, and we needed to say it at least once. So
that's true, at least once per year, because we got it in last year in an episode. I remember where we talked about ghosts, literally ghost busting.
Yes, exactly. And there was a ghost in this episode, so we had to say it. Okay. Yeah. Who else should our listeners and viewers tell about the show?
And then after you tell a musician, you should tell a museum docent.
Oh, nice.
I don't think we've done that before.
No, we haven't. We haven't done docents before.
Okay. Cool, nice. Cool. I feel like we've done other museum employees, but do a docent in particular.
Nice.
Because, when people don't want tours, they're kind of just standing around waiting for someone to explain something or show them a tour. Yeah. So they got downtime to listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
Nice. Tell them about this. Yeah.
Beautiful. Excellent. Okay. Cool. Great.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.